It's the first time a state championship game in Class 5A has ever been contested inside the Alamo Dome. Craig Yenser, the head coach at Midland High, his first season at the helm. And what a job he did at Hereford first and then down to Midland and getting them to their first ever state championship game. Jim Rackley, as we mentioned, picking up right where D.W. Rutledge left off and guiding the Judson Rockets to the state championship round. We're ready to go with the 5A Division I Texas Bowl. Huge crowd on hand coming out of the Permian Basin region from Midland. As you see Jason Crownover approaching the ball, and we're underway. And the kick will be returned by Jonathan Batson. And Batson breaking clear on the opening kickoff and all the way into Bulldog territory at the Midland High 49-yard line. So an excellent start for the Judson Rockets as they'll begin in great field position at the Midland 49-yard line. You look at Dustin Quinney, the senior quarterback, joined in the backfield as Quinney. You look at the Midland High defensive front. Tyler Yenser, son of the head coach, at defensive end, along with Taylor Lang, Alton Reddick, and Daniel Stovall along the front line. 1st and 10, Judson from the 49. And to the ground they go to Chauncey Campbell as he picks up 3 yards. Taylor Lang on the tackle for the Midland Bulldogs. Midland, you take a look at the Judson Rockets and the Midland High defensive front. There it is again. Yenser, Lang, Reddick, and Stovall. It is 2nd down and 7 for Judson. Play action and Quinney to throw. And just off the fingertips as he was looking for his fullback, T.C. Wilson, coming out of the backfield, well covered by the linebacker, Wade Cole.
Boy, Craig, on that play right there, Tyler Yenser, the guy that you were highlighting, just absolutely leveled Dustin Quinney as he tried to make that little play action pass, rolled out to his right, looking down to find a man in the corner route. Tyler Yenser, the big defensive end, wasn't having any of that, and he just absolutely took a big shot right there on Dustin Quinney, right in the jaw.
On 3rd and 7, the Rockets will spread the field with 3 receivers. Wilson, the lone setback. Blitz coming, and that pass is batted down by Yenser. Tyler Yenser, the 6'4", 225-pound senior. The young man who is the son of the head coach, Craig Yenser. And Coach Yenser said, I left it up to him to decide whether to take the job at Midland High because it was his senior year at Hereford. He was going to have to miss.
Well, you talk about a tough thing for this kid, too, for coming back and leaving his senior high school. Right now, you're getting Dustin Quinney's stats here as a quarterback. He's been fairly successful throwing the football, as both Judson quarterbacks have. Up again to some of the backs and receivers now. Chauncey Campbell, obviously the featured guy. T.C. Wilson, the big fullback there, leading him on the way.
Quinney also does the punting for the Rockets. And the kick is away as Ryan Bowes back deep to receive it. He'll just watch that thing sail right out of the back of the end zone. So Midland High will get the football from its own 20-yard line. You look at Ryan Rowland, a 6'2", 200-pound senior quarterback. He's completed 59% of his passes this season. And the numbers there, impressive for Ryan Rowland. Joined in the backfield. First up front, Josh Morris, Buck Wallace, Trace Watson, Victor Jordan, Cody Seth, T.J. Barber, who's rushed for over 1,700 yards. Wade Cole in the backfield, Eric Lara, one of the receivers, and they spread it out on 1st down with 4 wide receivers, and yet they still go to the tailback, T.J. Barber, as Barber picks up about 4 to the 24-yard line. Aaron Ivey, the anchor end of the Judson Rocket defensive front, makes the tackle for the Rockets.
We're talking about this Midland High offense, Craig. It is multifaceted in what they do. Getting back now to the Converse defense.
You look at Ivy, Marvin Baker, Berlin Jones, and Reggie Lowry up front. Bruce Gross, Darrell Carl, and Chris Griffin. And Eddie Goodson, Jason Castillo, Brandon Jackson, and Titus Brothers in the secondary. 2nd down and 6. And again, from the shotgun as Midland High spreads the field. Rowland's pass, that one caught on the receiver's screen, and Zach Sledge, the leading receiver for the Bulldogs, gets it out to the 29-yard line to pick up a 5. Carley makes the tackle, the weak side linebacker. Sledge, that's his 46th catch of the year, and he now has caught 46 passes for 855 yards.
Done a bad job. This kid is an excellent athlete as well, and he has by far the best hands on this Midland High team, and all of their receivers can catch the ball, but boy, you throw it to him, and it doesn't get away from him very often.
3rd down and a yard to go for Midland. Barber, the man in the backfield, to the left of the quarterback, Rowland. Rowland will pitch it to Barber, and he's got to turn the corner, and he does. Big running room for Barber, and all the way out to the 46, close to the 47-yard line before Titus Brothers can bring him down. It's a gain of 17 yards and a first down for Midland.
Greg, we talked about Ryan Rowland at the outset. Right there, they line up in the spread. They need 1 yard. They've got one guy in the backfield, and they've got Rowland. He's running the option, and just an excellent job of recognizing and reading the pitch. And, boy, once you get T.J. Barber on the corner, there's not a defensive lineman that's going to be able to keep up with him. He just outran Aaron Ivey for the first down.
First down of the game, picked up by either side. Midland High operates from its 46. Rowland tried the shovel pass into Barber, and slamming into him was Reginald Lowry. The defensive rush in for Judson. It loses a yard back to the 45.
Well, Reginald Lowry, that guy, what a play. They just ran the opposite of what they did before, Craig. They ran the option where he pitched it out. On that particular play, it was a shovel pass. He makes a shovel pass, but Lowry was having none of that. The senior 210 stuffed that right in the backfield for about a yard loss.
Second down and 11.
You know, Craig, it's too hard. It's hard for these guys to keep up with this Midland offense because they've already shown you a variety of things. They've thrown a wide receiver screen, they've run an inside screen, they've run the option.
And this time they will run an end around, coming around the left side. Across midfield is Sledge. Zach Sledge takes it down to a 46-yard line for a pickup of 9. Bruce Gross, the strong side linebacker, the tackle for the Rockets. It brings up 3rd and 2 for Midland. There's another wrinkle in Craig Yenser's offensive attack.
You talk about how effective that they are moving the football, Craig, and it's just really impressive how the disciplined they are because they can almost, the offensive linemen are really where this whole thing starts, and they can change their mindset from pass protection to run blocking, and they do it seemingly very easily, and it really creates a lot of havoc for opposing defenses.
3rd down out of an eye look now with 2 yards needed for the first. Barber the toss. He's got the first down, and he's down to the 41-yard line of the Rockets, where he's brought down by Aaron Ivey. But a pickup of 5 yards and another Midland Bulldog first down.
Well, and I think we've seen the complete complement now of the Midland offense. We've seen the spread, we've seen the option, we've seen the run. Boy, and take a look at these numbers here. Midland offensive line, 255 pounds, a much smaller Judson defensive line. And when you're overmatched like that, you've got to be quick. You got to jump into the gaps and try to create havoc on blocking schemes. And that'll be a key for Judson today if they're going to be successful.
Barber already 25 yards on just his first 3 carries. Looked like a busted play there, and down goes Rowland. The red jerseys swarming around him. Lowry, one of those, along with Brandon Jackson, the strong safety, and Aaron Ivey.
Well, Ryan Rowland looked like he just made the wrong read because everybody else went to the left, and as he came around on the counter option, he was the only guy out there looking to pitch the football. Everybody else was away, so nice job of not trying to make a big play or put the ball on the carpet trying to make a circus pitch. Just take your loss and come back and try to get it on 2nd down.
2nd down. After that loss of 4 yards, it's 2nd down and 14, and now Rowland to throw. Under some pressure, and that pass beyond the reach of Zach Sledge, who was covered out there by the cornerback, Eddie Goodson.
Really tough throw for Ryan Rowland right there. Rolling to his right. He's a left-handed quarterback, Craig. Rolling to his right to try to get those shoulders square. And as soon as he got the shoulders square and let the ball fly, Darryl Carley, the linebacker, absolutely planted him in the AstroTurf. Ball sailed wide. Zach Sledge not able to come down with it, bringing up a big 3rd down play here.
Well, Midland High has converted its first 2 3rd down situations. We'll see what happens here. And they need almost 14 yards for the first down. 4 wide receivers from the shotgun. And with time, Rowland over the middle, wide open at the 30-yard line, and a first down for Eric Lara. Their number 4 receiver, that's his 19th reception of the year, Jonathan Batson, the tackle, but it works for 17 yards and a first down.
But Craig, take a look at how much time. Look at this protection that we have up here up front. Rowland's got all day to throw the football. Right before he gets hit, it gives Lara time enough to get down and manipulate his way between the zone coverage. Sets up nicely, shows the numbers to the quarterback. Rowland delivers a strike right before he gets hit. Big first down. That's a huge conversion right there for Midland High. 1st
and 10. The ball is at the 27-yard line as Craig Yenser intently looks on at his Midland High Bulldog squad. On the move, its first possession of the game. Out of the eye, the option keeper by Rowland, and Rowland down to the 15-yard line, as he's got another first down, a 12-yard gain. Titus Brothers the tackle, and you brought it up when we opened the telecast, Shay. Ryan Rowland not only completes 59% of his passes, he's the second leading rusher on this ball club.
Well, just incredible job of executing the option right there. Coming down the line of scrimmage, he noticed that the Judson defense had gone out. They covered up the pitch man, but nobody took the quarterback. He sees that, he cuts it upfield, picks up a big first down.
Ball just shy of the 15 with Laura and Sledge, the split receivers from the eye. It's Barber on the ground and up the middle, and Barber will score. TJ Barber takes it in for the touchdown, and Midland High strikes first. First possession, first score.
Well, Craig, they showed you everything there. Just a little bit of a counter play right there. And you talk about Barber, he's only 5'9". He's kind of a small guy, but boy, does he have some power. Ran right through the tackle there of Titus Brothers going into the end zone for the touchdown.
Extra point to come from Jason Crownover. And it's good. Flag down on the play. And we have a penalty on the play, but apparently it will go against Judson High. Midland strikes first, and the Bulldogs lead early in the first quarter. TJ Barber carried the final 15 yards for the Midland High touchdown. The opening drive for the Bulldogs, pretty impressive stuff, Shay.
Well, you take a look at what they've done, and they executed their offense to perfection. Ryan Rowland, the quarterback, sitting down right there next to TJ. That was just a wonderful drive that Midland put together. Everything they tried worked, Craig. Even the big third and about 14 conversion that they made was huge. And the offensive line really is establishing, at least on this first drive, that they're here for, they mean business.
So now it'll be Judson's turn to get the football again. After you see the two engineers of that drive, as Jason Crownover will kick it off. Crownover's had a good season in terms of the placements as well. That penalty was against Judson on the extra point, so it did stand, and it's a 7-0 lead for Midland High. Kick high and not real deep, and it'll be fielded and fumbled and picked up at the 15-yard line. And out over the 20 to the 21-yard line, but not much more than that for the Judson Rockets for Kyle Fox, who was bringing the ball upfield. So Judson High goes back to work. Their first possession started in Midland territory, but they were ultimately forced to punt.
A little uncharacteristic for the Judson Rockets, Craig. They had a couple of pass plays in their first series, little rollouts there by Dustin Quinney. And Tyler Yenser, the big defensive end, got into his face a couple of times and then batted the last third down attempt away from him.
First and 10 for Judson, and Joe Walden in at quarterback as the quarterback rotation for Jim Rackley. Wade Cole on the tackle of Wilson. Joe Walden, the junior, in at quarterback. As you look at the Midland High Bulldog defense, Tyler Yenser, Taylor Lang, Alton Reddick, and Daniel Stovall, the down linemen. Linebackers for the Bulldogs, Casey Zachary, Wade Cole, and Ole Fitz is the rover. And in the secondary, Ryan Bowes and Herb City anchoring that defense back there, along with Ty Seeker and Matt Simmons. Second down play, and that one not for much because of Casey Zachary as he got in on T.C. Wilson. Nothing on that play at all, and it now brings up third down, and the Rockets need about 5 for the first.
You do get a little bit of a different look from the Judson Rockets when you have Joe Walden in. He is a little bit more of a running type quarterback and put him in the option a little bit more than they do with Dustin Quinney.
Almost a no-huddle look, and that ball glanced off one of the Rockets. It'll be a deep loss at the very most, and it might be a Midland touchdown. Rockets will give up the ball. Wade Cole takes it in, and Midland High capitalizes on the Judson mistake. Jay, I think this pitch out bounced off one of the Rockets or one of the Bulldogs, and that's why it took off in the backfield.
Well, sometimes when you bring a new quarterback in, you have that little situation with the continuity, but they're trying to hit Joe Walden, it looks like, coming around from his flanker position. That ball bounced right off of his shoulder. Excuse me, Andre Williams wide receiver. Anyway, that ball bounces right off of his chest. And boy, the hustle of this Midland defense, but they're flying to the football. Wade Cole, the starting fullback as well as starting middle linebacker, is able to handle the ball, get the nice bounce off the turf, and put it in the end zone for a big touchdown.
Extra point kick, and it's bobbled and rolling to throw the football. Still looking to throw the football is Jason Russell, and he'll go all the way down. So this try is no good. But Midland High has a 13-0 lead. Head coach Craig Yenser said he wanted his team to be able to play settled in its first state championship. They're settled, and Jim Rackley's got to fire his team up.
Craig, take a look at this play here as we come back and look at the touchdown scored by Wade Cole. Andre Williams, the flanker, they're trying to run a little bit of a trick play there that just bounces off of his chest, and then that's the old friendly bounces of the AstroTurf happen. Wade Cole picks it up, dashes into the end zone. This guy knows what to do with the football. He is a starting fullback, so once he picks it up and in. Now the kicker, take a look. I believe he stubs his toe here. Gets a little bit of turf toe coming in. Got some pressure off the corner from Titus Brothers, and they're trying to make the two-point conversion there. And Russell, who is a backup quarterback, looking downfield for somebody, just nowhere to go in the pursuit. Missed conversion, but boy, what a big turn of momentum for Midland High to recover that fumble and put it into the end zone for a touchdown.
You look at Wade Cole there, and the one thing that was impressive about that fumble return for the touchdown, Shay, he had it in his hands before he took off running. He didn't try to take off before he had it gathered in, and he scooped it up first, then he took off for the end zone.
Yeah, he secured the ball, and again, he knows how important it is in this ball game today and momentum and everything else that's going on. He's one of the senior leaders of this football team, which is a very senior-laden team for Midland High. But he did an excellent job there of covering that fumble and putting it in.
Here's Crownover's third kickoff of the opening quarter, and again, it's a short one, and big running room now coming across midfield, and all the way out to the midfield stripe. Kyle Fox on the return as he takes it out there. There's a flag down also as Fox brings it out to the midfield stripe. And we'll check the flag. You take a look at veteran referee Jim Ely out of the Dallas chapter, one of the finest high school football officials in the state.
Hey, Craig, while he gets the call, we're going to give the kicker a little bit of pub here. Jason Crownover did a really nice job of staying in front.
We have a 5-yard face mask on the tackle. It's going to be 1st and 10.
Hey, that's a good 5-yard penalty right there because Jason Crownover kept Kyle Fox out of the end zone. Take a look here at the return. He's going to get a big lane coming right here. Coming up, and then he's one-on-one right here with the kicker. The kicker does a nice job. He doesn't take the juke outside, stays in front of him, and brings him down for and then that's where they get the face mask penalty. That's a 5 yards that Coach Yenser and his crew will gladly accept.
Well, the ball is at the 45-yard line for Judson. Back to the ground to Wilson, and good running room for T.C. Wilson. Lowers his shoulders as he moves inside the 40, down inside the 39-yard line, close to 38, about a 7-yard gain. Cole and Herb City team up on the tackle as you look at the numbers for T.C. Wilson, the senior fullback.
Well, he's a load, too. You normally don't see the big guy or the tall, lean guy being your fullback, but he is, and you got Chauncey Campbell behind him. But boy, 6'3", 205, he's a big load.
They go to the load again, and Wilson is down to the 36. Taylor Lang the tackle. It's a pickup of 2, and it's 3rd down, and a yard needed for Judson first down. Rockets still without a first down here in the first quarter.
That's a great point, Craig. And what Judson is going to do right now, they're going to line up and they're going to come right at you. They've tried a couple of reverses and pitches and options, and that's not Judson Rocket football. I would expect to see T.C. Wilson get this ball.
Winnie back in at quarterback. It is Wilson. He does have the first down inside the 35 and down to the 33-yard line. A pickup of 3. Cole and Herb City on the tackle for Midland High. But Judson moving the chains for the first time with their first down, and now with a little bit of offensive momentum.
Well, and we've seen what they've done. They've gone and just featured T.C. Wilson, their big bruising fullback, and he's able to pick up the first down for him on 3 carries. Now they're back in the I backfield. We got Chauncey Campbell in there.
10 for the Rockets. It is to Campbell on the toss sweep, and Campbell sheds a tackler and down the sidelines before he's shoved out of bounds at the 21-yard line, as Chauncey Campbell picks up 12 yards before Herb City can shove him out of bounds.
Anytime you run the power sweep to the inside of the field, you're going to get a lead by your quarterback, your wide receiver, and your fullback have all got to make nice blocks. And what patience right there by Chauncey Campbell. Did you see how I let that play get set up? Let the block happen, let a couple of guys go by him, then he darts up and picks up more yards.
2 receivers in an offset eye. It's Campbell the toss again. And popped worked hard at the 18-yard line. That's City again. Herb City's been all around the football. It's a 2-yard gain to the Midland 19.
Well, Craig, Herb City is going to be a key for this Midland offense to try to slow down the Judson offense, or the Midland defense, because he's a free safety. He's going to have to come up and play run support, but he also is going to have to play the play-action pass very well, because as we have seen last week against A-Leaf Elson, Judson can throw the football.
Ryan Robinson, the lone wide receiver. Now Brandon Coleman in motion. And play action, Quinney with a lot of space if he wants to run, and he does. Quinney inside the 15, and Quinney is close to the first down marker as he's down near the 12-yard line. Justin Kendrick, the junior right corner, brought him down, but this is close to a first down.
Well, that was a really nice play by Quinney to recognize that both of his receivers were very well covered. Excellent job by the Midland High secondary. Nobody was open. They go to the play action pass thinking that they're going to find somebody open, but a very heady quarterback. That's a senior play right there, Craig. He sees nothing available downfield, tucks it, picks up the first down.
About a half-yard short of the first down. They sprint to the line of scrimmage, and it is Wilson, and he would appear to have the first down as the 203-pound senior fullback goes off right guard, and he's would appear to have it, where they'll put down the football. Tackle made by Tyler Yenser.
Maybe a measurement. Oh, they're going to give it first down.
And they can pick up a first down without a touchdown. The ball just inside the 11-yard line as you see the time remaining, inside 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. And Midland High striking early and taking advantage of a Judson mistake.
Converse Judson needing a yard. They ran the ball behind Frank Witherspoon. He's a senior, 344 pounds. They give it to their strongest, toughest running back, T.C. Wilson, the fullback. They needed about a yard. They got about a yard and a half.
They go to the I. Wilson's the fullback. Chauncey Campbell is the tailback. Dustin Quinney, the quarterback. The toss is to Campbell. Picks up a big block, and Campbell will score. Touchdown, Judson Rockets. A big block out on the perimeter springs him, and the Rockets are on the board.
Really impressed with the patience of Chauncey Campbell, Craig, as he takes the ball on the pitch. He lets things get set up. He lets his blocks happen. Watch it. As you look downfield, you're going to see a couple of guys hit the ground. One right there. Then you see another one right there. And then he's just patient. He lets those things get set up, and he's got enough burst and enough speed to put it into the end zone. Scoring his 18th touchdown of the season.
What a big block from T.C. Wilson. Quinney, also the team's place kicker for the extra points. Judson has pulled to within 6.
Game on.
Take another look at this touchdown. And how about the block from the fullback, T.C. Wilson?
Well, T.C. Wilson is the lead right here. He typically gets his men to the ground, as he did right there. You see another block out here by the wide receiver, and really the patience of Chauncey Campbell to let that block happen and let it set up, and then just really put the jets on and burn into the end zone for the touchdown. Huge drive right there, Craig, by Converse Judson to get back into this ball game.
Dustin Quinney in there trying to tie up Daniel Stovall, the defensive end. Dustin Quinney, one of those all-purpose guys, kicks, punts, and of course he's the senior at quarterback as well. 45-yard, 8-play drive. Took 2:17 off the clock, and you see the man who finished it, Chauncey Campbell, the final 11 yards.
Well, we've seen Converse Judson get excellent field position on the 3 kickoffs that you mentioned. On 2 of those kickoffs, Greg, they have really they've put on some big returns, and they've really worked with the short field. So so far that they've had the short field. Jim Rackley right there, he's happy to see that touchdown. He's going to get these guys fired up.
Well, Jim Rackley will tell you he's a disciple of D.W. Rutledge, as he puts the right leg into it. And this one is fielded by Bowes at the 12-yard line. Ryan Bowes out over the 25 to the 26-yard line, and that's where Midland High will get the football for only the 2nd time here in this ball game after the 14-yard return. Of course, they had the touchdown on the fumble return by Cole. Judson's had the football 3 possessions, just 1 for Midland, yet the Bulldogs are on top by 6.
Well, Judson, if they want to stay in this ball game, though, Craig, they're going to have to show that they can stop this Midland offense and all of the points of attack that they come from.
Ryan rolling, ready to go back to work. And he'll spread the field with 4 receivers from the shotgun. Looking to throw, trouble coming, and down he goes. Pressure coming. Marvin Baker, the nose guard, the 205-pound senior on the stop for the Rockets. It's a loss of 7.
Greg, that was a wide receiver screen that he was going to try to get out to Zach Sledge, but or Eric Lara. But what happened there was that the Rocket defensive backs came up and pressed. They saw and recognized that play at the pre-snap, so they were standing right there in front of the receivers where Roland didn't have anywhere to go with the football. Instead of throwing the pick, he takes the sack.
2nd and 17. Jason Russell is one split receiver, and a slot at the bottom of your screen is Zach Sledge, and 2 more receivers at the top of your picture. Shovel pass to Barber. Judson sniffing it out, but Barber still manages to break some tackles, and he managed to pick up 6 yards back to the 25 before Darryl Carley, the weak side linebacker, made the stop for the Rockets. It's 3rd and 11 for Midland. Clock inside of 90 seconds to go, and you see T.J. Barber also very adept at catching the football and running with it, as he is their number 2 receiver. Midland High has not been stopped on 3rd down, Shea. They're 3 for 3.
This is a big 3rd and 11 right here. Boy, the Judson fans are up on their feet.
Again, out of the 4 wide out set. Option. And Barber to the short side of the field, but nowhere to go. Brought down by Reginald Lowry. Reggie Lowry comes to get him. It's only a yard gain, and for the first time today, Midland High will have to punt.
Excellent pursuit right there by the Judson defense, because they saw that short option, or option to the short side of the field, and the pressure up front, Craig, did not allow any blocks to happen. They absolutely just out-quicked the Midland offensive line on that play, and Reggie Lowry was right there to make the stop only after a yard gain.
Jonathan Batson and Jason Castillo back deep to receive the punt from Jeff Jones, who's averaged 38 yards per kick this season. This is a good one. And it'll be fielded by Castillo at the 34 of the Rockets. And about 5 on the return to the 39-yard line. 41-yard punt. 5 on the return. Cody Seth got downfield, the big right tackle to make the stop. 3-2 on the hang time. And that's where the Rockets start. One thing you can say about Judson, other than the turnover there, they've had good field position.
They've had wonderful field position. They're starting again here from their own 39-yard line. And they've shown the ability now to be able to run the football. They've got Joel Walden coming in for quarterback, as we talked about that rotation that continues to happen here with the Judson Rocket offense.
The junior Walden, who actually has more passing yards than Quinney, but Quinney's taken more snaps. From the eye. They send the tight end in motion on 1st down, and to Campbell. Campbell across the 40 to the 42-yard line, and it's City to make the tackle along with Casey Zachary. It's a 3-yard gain, and that'll do it for the first quarter. Midland High jumped out to a quick lead, scored on its first drive, took advantage of the Judson fumble, returned for a touchdown by Wade Cole, but the Rockets drove back to score. And at the end of the first quarter, it's Midland High by 6, a 5A Division I Texas Bowl.
They're just like family to me, and of course my son coaches there, and but at the same time it's kind of neat to see Craig Yenzer and his staff, and you know, I'm proud of them too, but I do have some feelings for Judson. There's no doubt about that.
You got to say that stuff, you know, in coaching school, so they're not too mean to you there, the guys over in Midland. Well, you got to lead the team in the invocation in the pregame. That must have meant a lot to be back with your old squad once again.
It was. You got to do the devotional with them, and I enjoyed that. Enjoyed seeing all the coaches and getting to speak to the team. That was fun.
All right, well, they're down by 6, and they're going to have to come up with some offense here as we take a look at Chauncey Campbell running up the middle. Nice little pickup from our vantage point here. Probably what from the ground looks like about 5-yard pickup. But you have any predictions before we send it back up to the booth and Craig and Shea? You guys can pull it out?
It's a heck of a ball game. There's no doubt about that. Midland came out storming right off the bat, and then Judson responded well to some adversity down there on the fumble recovery. So it looks like it's going to be a heck of a ball game.
All right, well, Craig, Shea, a big completion as we send it up to you. Coach Rutledge expecting a big ball game, and there's a big play from Judson.
All right, thanks very much, Dave Knobler, and it was indeed a big play. Joe Walden connecting with Andre Williams as he takes that one for 39 yards after the first down had been picked up by Chauncey Campbell. It'll be 1st down at the Midland High 11.
Greg, they do not throw the ball much, but boy, when they do, does it have an impact. Andre Williams ran nothing but a simple 9 route. Walden did a great job of leading him to the outside. Big-time throw and catch right there.
On first down, a handoff to Campbell for a couple down close to the 9-yard line. And Mike Smith comes over to bring him down, the senior linebacker. But that was a good job of Walden's. He hung that ball up there, and like you said, Andre Williams just timed it perfectly going down the sideline.
When you look at the quarterback ratings for these Judson quarterbacks, they are extremely high. They don't throw the ball a whole lot, as we mentioned, but boy, are they efficient, and they get wide receivers, Craig, in positions where they get them out one-on-one because you've got 8 or 9 men, 10 men playing in the box trying to stop that Judson run, and they open it up for the pass.
On second down, Walden looking to throw for the end zone, and he's got a target and unable to hold on to the football. The tight end, Sean Small, who is out there all by himself.
Well, that's a throw Joel Walden wishes he had back, and an opportunity that Sean Small wishes he had as well. Really nice job of setting up the play action pass, rolling out to his right, had Small wide open in the end zone and just sailed the ball out. And that's to be expected, Craig. Even though, look, take a look here at these impressive numbers last week in the semifinal game versus Ailey Felsett. Those quarterback ratings are nothing short of phenomenal. But what happens, 9 completions last week, all 9 went for first downs. That was a huge game for them.
Rocket quarterbacks have alternated in each series. This is the 4th offensive series for Judson and the 2nd for Walden. On third down, Walden looks to throw, but pressure coming. Has to get rid of it, and that's incomplete. There was good coverage back there on the corner by Ryan Bose on the intended target, Brian Robinson. It brings up 4th down, but the pressure was really coming from Tyler Yenser.
Well, Tyler Yenser was right on the back of the neck of Joel Walden as he tried to throw that football. The big 6'4" senior legged out there and just grabbed him by the back of the collar, pulled him down, caused the ball to sail a little bit, but that was really an excellent job by the Midland defense of putting some pressure on the passer right there.
So now Quinney, who of course is the regular place kicker as well as the starting quarterback, now will come on to try what looks to be a 27-yard field goal. This would pull the Rockets to within 3.
Well, penalty flag is down. Are we going to get a delay?
On the offense, 5 yards.
That'll make it a little more challenging. It'll now be a 32-yard attempt. You saw Jim Ely, 34 years of experience, a referee from the Dallas chapter. Seen a lot of his game. Outstanding chapter, this group here. Roland Weber, the umpire, Ron Tribble, the linesman, Joel Williams, the line judge, and Tom Besant, the back judge. Here's the 32-yard try, and that's perfect. Right down the middle for Quinney, and Judson, at one point down 13-0, is now within 3. 10:05 to go first half. Midland High leads 13-10. D.W. Rutledge right there, the former head coach of Judson. You heard him visiting with Dave Knobler on the sidelines. While he was the head coach, his assistant head coach for 8 years was Jim Rackley, now the head coach. And what did all that time together mean to Coach Rackley?
Anytime we've got somebody that's trying to do the best that they can do and do it with intensity and with all the effort that they've got, it's because they got the spirit of D.W. Rutledge in them. And so I'm just trying to carry that on, and to have him there tomorrow is sort of it makes it special.
That's pretty genuine stuff right there.
No doubt.
And that is the guy, and he talks about just trying to carry on what Coach Rutledge done. He's done all right for himself.
Not too bad. They were in the playoffs last year, 2nd round loss in his first season as head coach. This year he's got him in the state finals.
And within 3 now after taking a couple of body blows early and down 13-0.
And you want to talk about the mark of a really experienced and a mature team and a well-coached team. That's the Converse Judson Rockets, because boy, when everything was going the Midland High Bulldog way, it would have been easy for another team that maybe did not have the experience or the success that they've had to just kind of fold it up and just say, oh wow, it's not our day, things are going, you know, so bad for us. But no, not the Rockets. They came back and have really put 2 impressive drives together, putting points on the board in both of them.
This is Philip Mancha on the kick return from Thomas Elbow, and they'll take it out over the 30 to the 31-yard line. With Mancha on the return, Brandon Coleman the tackle for the Rockets. So Midland High with some good field position now. 9:57 to go first half after that 45-yard 8-play drive that led to the Judson field goal. And Ryan Rowland's got to go back to work for Craig Yenzer's ball club. Bulldogs jumped out to the quick lead, but the last drive stymied by the Rocket defense.
Well, this is only the third possession, right, for Midland High. I mean, they scored on their first one. The second possession, they went 3 and out, and now they're back with the ball again, but they're already midway through the second quarter.
And there goes Barber, and he's already close to a first down. In fact, should have it out over the 41 to the 42-yard line. Brandon Jackson tackled him, but T.J. Barber, that explosive speed right from the touch of the football.
But then when he hits the hole, Craig, he just absolutely, he sees it so well from his eye back position, but when he hits it, he's got that extra burst that gets him through the line area and back into the secondary, and he's only 5'9", 180 pounds, but he runs like he's a lot bigger than that.
Up to 52 yards on only 6 carries for T.J. Barber. Out of the eye, 1st and 10 from the 42. The option, the keeper by Rowland, and he'll pick up 2 yards to the 44-yard line. Darryl Carley, the weak side linebacker, the tackle for the Rockets.
Nice job again, right? We see this smaller defensive line for Converse Judson, Craig. They're doing what they need to do on the option plays. Is they're stringing it out. They're not letting the seams of the creases get there, and they're making it difficult for Ryan Rowland to make the read. Instead of making the pitch on that play, he tried to cut it up, but right into the arms of Darryl Carley. Well defensed there by Judson.
On 2nd down and 8, play action. And pressure coming on Rowland, but he'll get the pass off, and Sledge, an excellent catch at the 36-yard line, and a first down for the Midland Bulldogs. 20 yards. What a great pass from Rowland, and an even better catch by Zach Sledge.
Well, that was a really nice job right there. Moving the pocket here. You'll take a look as Rowland rolls out to his left, Craig. He's going to come down here. He's got his receiver coming down, running an out route. He's got one-on-one coverage there, but nice job of letting it, taking time to let it develop, and boy, look at that. Keeping both feet in. Hey, let me give you a little stat about Zach Sledge. Excellent athlete. He's a 13-foot pole vaulter. See him keeping those feet in. He knows how to time that jump, doesn't he?
1st and 10 at the 36 for Midland High. To the fullback, and this is Cole, who's already scored a touchdown on a fumble return, and he's trying to take this one to the end zone. Cole inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. 28 yards on a rumble up the middle before Brothers and Castillo can stop it.
Wow, that'll bring the Midland High folks to their feet. What an outstanding play call right there. Just hit the fullback, the quick hitter up the middle, running right behind center, Trace Watson and Buck Wallace. Josh Morris also on that left side. And man, what a run. Just speed, power, balance, all out of your starting fullback, starting middle linebacker. He wants to get in the end zone, doesn't he?
It's not like Cole hadn't carried the football this season. That was his 51st carry of the year. He's averaging close to 3 yards per carry. They'll toss back to Barber, up the middle and to the goal line, right at the goal line. Not across, but right at it goes T.J. Barber. As he picks up 7 yards, it'll be 2nd down. As Chris Griffin made the tackle for Judson, it'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, how explosive is T.J. Barber? Watch here, Craig. Watch the cutback here. He's going to take the pitch right here. Then he sees the lane in the alley, open up the cutback. And he just dives over, trying to get into the end zone. Lands on his head on the 1-yard line. But boy, just a great read by T.J. Barber and a very explosive first step.
And it's the fullback, Cole. Touchdown, Midland Bulldogs. There is a flag on the field as Cole takes it across. But let's check the flag. Jim Ely conferring with his crew.
We have illegal motion on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
So that'll move it back to just outside the 5-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and goal. Legal motion penalty denied. Wade Cole's 2nd touchdown of the day. And that might have been Josh Hosiger, the split end, who turned upfield just a moment too soon. As you saw at the far edge, the top of your picture there. 2nd down and goal just outside the 5. Sledge, the receiver, in motion to the top of your screen. The toss back to Barber, lost the football, and Judson's got it at the 10-yard line. Fumble recovery for the Rockets, and that one is made by Shannon Anderson, who comes up with the recovery.
Put it in for the touchdown. Instead, they turn it over. Converse now on the march.
Each team with a turnover now, and here's Quinney back in the game at quarterback, and he'll keep it for a couple. As he gets it out near the 13-yard line. Herb City, the tackle for Midland High.
Okay, for you Texas Longhorn fans in the audience right now, I'm going to tell you right there, watching Herb City, number 2, playing the option as well as he did right there and making contact, reminded me a lot of Jerry Gray. The way that he used to close on the quarterback on those options. I mean, he was right there at the line of scrimmage or just after a short game, and Herb City right there to deliver a big lick on Dustin Quinney.
Second down. And they'll toss it back to Chauncey Campbell. Campbell's out of the 15 to the 16-yard line. A 3-yard game. Only Fitz, the Rover, the stop for Midland. And it's now going to be third down and about 5 needed for the first for the Rockets as we approach the midway mark here this second quarter. So turnovers hurt each team. One resulting directly in a touchdown for Midland High. The other denying Midland an opportunity to score another one. Rolling, Quinney to throw, and he's got a man wide open at the 45 and into Midland High territory is Brandon Coleman down to the 39-yard line. Cole finally caught up with him along with Matt Simmons, but slipping behind the defense, Brandon Coleman waiting on the ball and hauls it in for a 37-yard gain.
But we've said this before, but the Converse Judson Rockets are not a pass-first team, but they are so deceptive in their play-action passing that they get wide receivers one-on-one, and typically they find them wide open. Roland doing a nice job of waiting on that ball and bringing it in.
First and 10. Quinney off play action. The throw over the middle, that ball's broken up. It was intended for Andre Williams, and there's Herb City again to break it up.
What a play by Herb.
Second down. The ball is at the 40-yard line of Midland High. As you see the time remaining right at the halfway point of quarter number 2. Entertaining championship game we've had so far. Second down, Brian Robinson is the lone split receiver at the top of your screen, and that's Wilson, the fullback, in motion. And the play fake. Quinney to throw for Wilson, who had the ball and then dropped it. Was turning upfield, Shea, and just didn't put it away before he lost it.
Yeah, one of those catches right there where he felt like he had an opportunity to pick up some big yards after the catch. He wanted some of the rack yards. Didn't bring it in all the way. Nice job by Quinney. Lays it out right perfectly, though. Puts it right in stride for him. He just tried to turn it upfield before he can secure the football, and it comes out now. Last week, how about T.C. Wilson's catch? A big grab against Elphick on 4th and 9 to keep the drive alive.
True enough, they've got 3rd and 10 now. Judson now 4 of 7 in the third down department. Quinney to throw. Going deep again. Looking for Robinson. That ball was tipped and then dropped. Oh, Brian Robinson nearly had it, but for Ryan Bowes coming over to get a hand on it, and it's 4th and 10.
Ooh, that's one that'll make you hold your breath. Doesn't matter which side you're on that one. But Ryan Bowes thought he had played that ball very well. He was right in the hip pocket of Brian Robinson. But as that ball continued to float on him, he looks like he was right as he cuts under there, Craig. He gets his hands on it, but boy, it pops up instead of down, giving Robinson a chance to bring it in, but he's not able to secure the football.
You see Dustin Quinney just knew he had it there. Now he knows he's got to go back and punt. On 4th down, with Bowes back deep to receive it. Plenty of time for this kick. A line drive kick as he tries to kick it away from Bowes, who fields it at the 5-yard line. Nevertheless, oh, did he take a pop at the 9-yard line. That is where the Bulldogs will have it. 5:39 to go in the first half. It's Midland High by 3 in the 5A Division I Texas Bowl. 5:39 to go in the first half. Midland High's first ever appearance in the state final. Judson, well accustomed to this. They were in the state championship round 6 times alone in the decade of the 90s. New experience for Ryan Rowland and the Midland High Bulldogs. More than holding their own right now as they hold a 3-point lead here late in the first half.
Craig, we were talking about this on the break. This is only the 4th possession for the Bulldog offense in this first half.
On first down, it's to the fullback, Cole, and he lost the football. That is loose, and Judson's come up with it. A turnover there, and the fumble recovery made by the Rockets. It looked like Berlin Jones, the defensive tackle, got on the football. He did for Judson.
Sometimes when you run like that, Craig, with abandon, as we've seen Wade Cole do, he runs very hard, tough, arms are flailing, flying around. He gets that ball stripped away from him. Nice job on the handoff exchange. He just gets stripped right away there. Wow, that's a huge recovery right there for the Converse Judson Rockets.
Second Midland High turnover. Now the Rockets in position, looking for their first lead of the day. With Walden back in at quarterback, Campbell the toss, touchdown Rockets! Chauncey Campbell scores his second of the day, and for the first time this afternoon in the Alamo Dome, Judson leads.
Craig, what a nice job right there by Chauncey Campbell. Looks like the parting of the Red Sea. Man, I mean, he is so patient. I'm really impressed with him as he gets the ball in the backfield. He's so patient. He lets that thing develop. He lets his blocks happen downfield, and he just gives a big burst, knocks it into the end zone.
Quinney to give the Rockets a 4-point lead. He does. And 12 seconds after Midland High had gotten the football for its fourth possession.
Craig, take a look at the alley that's going to develop right here off the play snap. We're going to see patience, and then boom, right up the middle for the touchdown. Take a look here on the replay. Pitches it back, he's patient, and then bam, he just turns on the jets and sticks it in the end zone. Really nice job of downfield blocking and securing your block. Chauncey Campbell obviously knows what to do with the football when he gets it.
What you just described there, isn't that the same thing what Vince Lombardi used to talk about on the old Green Bay power sweep? On the old NFL films, what we want to do is get a seal here and a seal here and run this play in the alley.
In the alley, that's right.
And you see Chauncey Campbell, some impressive numbers so far.
Well, he is the workhorse of this offense, averaging over the season 6.8 yards per carry. Right at 2,000 yards for the season. Only a junior.
Well, we just talked about Midland High starting its fourth possession. They'll start the fifth possession a lot sooner than they wanted to. And for the first time, now we get a chance to see how Midland High responds after the Bulldogs had jumped out with a 13-0 lead. 17 unanswered points by Judson.
Well, the Midland High, to get into this ball game, Craig, they lost 2 district games. They lost to Abilene High and they lost to Abilene Cooper. So to get into this ball game, to even make the playoffs for Midland High, they had to beat crosstown rival Midland League. And boy, did they ever. 49-0. That launched them into this playoff run or state championship run that they're on right now.
There's the kickoff, and it's Mancha. Up the middle and then picked up and driven back, but they'll mark him down at the 33-yard line. Brandon Coleman was the man who came down to hit him pretty hard. Of course, this is the 5A Division I Texas Bowl. Next week, we've got the Division II championship round. Check your local listings. It'll be a noon kickoff. Might it be the Carroll Dragons from South Lake or the defending state champion Lufkin Panthers? Perhaps Larry Hill's Smithson Valley Rangers or the ever-present Katy Tigers of Mike Johnston. 2 of those 4 teams will play next Saturday for the 5A Division II state championship. The option keeper for Ryan Rowland goes for 4 yards on first down. Darrell Carley, the tackle for Judson. And there's a chance we might be right back here in the Alamo Dome, if not at Reliant Stadium, perhaps, or Reliant Astrodome in Houston. Those venues mentioned most prominently as the possible host for the Division II Texas Bowl next week. Zach Sledge and Eric Lara, the receivers. From the eye. To the ground, TJ Barber. Good running and a first down for the Bulldogs. As Barber takes it for 7 yards. Gross and Carley the tackle. And calm, cool, directed as the Midland High attack despite giving up 17 unanswered points, going right back to work.
Now, we talk about the Midland High guys not being in the playoffs for 51 years, Craig, but that's not true for Coach Yinzer and his staff. The last 4 seasons at Hereford, they were in the playoffs. They played for the state championship in 4A in 1999, so his staff is used to seeing these kind of momentum shifts and swings, and he's trying to balance his kids out right now.
Barber up the middle again, and good running into Judson territory. Takes it to the Rocket 48-yard line. A pickup of 8 yards before Reginald Lowry can bring him down.
Really impressive. Yeah, really impressive explosion right there by TJ Barber. He sees the play. That's just how he did earlier, Craig, when he scored the touchdown. He gets back, he lets things set up and play. And just very similar to the guy on the other side, Chauncey Campbell, but their both running styles seem to be very similar, where they're patient, let things set up and develop, and boy, their first step for explosion gets them right to the secondary.
You see the yards per carry there for TJ Barber, over 8. Second down and 2 for the Dogs. To the fullback, Cole, and a first down inside the Judson 44-yard line, close to the Rocket 43. Pick up of nearly 5 yards on the play. And Marley Martin, one of the Rockets, in on the tackle. It'll be first down for Midland High. First and 10. Aaron Ivey on that stop for Judson. Ball's at the 43-yard line. Getting to the late stages of the half. Here's Barber. And Barber's still on his feet and inside the 35 and down to the 34, close to another first down. Reginald Lowry, the tackle for Judson.
Hope Barber right there tiptoeing through the tulips. He sees the play. He's designed to bounce outside, but it's up to him if he recognizes a gap or a seam inside. And what a nice cutback runner he's shown to be today. So right there's a big opening. He just takes it in. He dances around a little bit, and he picks up almost the first down.
Barber nearing the 100-yard mark. He's up to 83 yards on 10 carries.
Hardly broken the sweat yet.
Play fake this time and going deep, looking for Hosiger, and a flag's going to come down. Pass interference will be called against Titus Brothers as he went into Josh Hosiger, the attempted target down the left sideline.
Well, that's the time to take your shot when it's 2nd and 1 and you're having a lot of success of pounding the football in. Hosiger brought that play in from the sideline, Craig. Got one-on-one coverage with Titus Brothers. Outran him, outdistanced him, and went to the goal line, and Brothers had no choice but to interfere with him to prevent a touchdown.
A call from Jim Ely.
Pass interference on the defense. It'll be 15 yards from the previous spot.
So that'll take it down to the 19-yard line.
Take a look at all these linebackers, everybody up front, biting on the play action pass. Really nice job right there by Ryan Rowland, Craig, laying that out there. Laid it out there perfect. Brothers' only option there was to do the pass interference, make sure they didn't catch the ball for a touchdown.
So it's a first down at the 19-yard line. You see a few penalties so far in this ball game. There have been turnovers. 2 by the Bulldogs, 1 from the Rockets. First down at the 19. Eric Lara at the top of your picture. The bottom of your screen is Zach Sledge, but they'll hand it to Barber, and boy, was he hit hard. He was really popped by Darryl Carley right in the middle as Carley limited to a 1-yard gain.
But Darryl Carley's coming down the pile all fired up. Nice job right there on the recognizing the run. Coming up, he had one-on-one with TJ Barber, met him right there at the hole, brought him down for the short gain.
Second down and 9. As we tick down to 2 minutes to go in the half. Midland High with all 3 of its timeouts remaining. Play action, but in they come, and that's ruled a fumble. And Judson's going to get the football. Vernon Jones is the man who separated Ryan Rowland from the football, and the fumble was recovered by the Rockets. Brandon Jackson, the fumble recovery after Vernon Jones shook the football loose.
Well, Brandon Jackson is having quite a day. Take a look here on the play fake. He's trying to run the play fake. Ryan Rowland, he's right there trying to set up like it was a run. Take a look here, Craig. He's almost lackadaisical, and that's exactly what you wanted your quarterback to do. You make the play fake, you kind of let the momentum go. But boy, Vernon Jones read that, sniffed it out from the very beginning. Coming up with a huge hit, causing a fumble, and boy, Brandon Jackson, he caused a fumble earlier, just recovered another one. He's having a big day.
The 3rd Midland High turnover of the first half. First and 10 Rockets. Quinney at quarterback. The play fake down the middle where he's got Wilson wide open. T.C. Wilson inside the 20-yard line. First down, they'll mark it at the 20 as it's a pickup of 47 yards. Herb City saved the touchdown, but Judson striking big first play after the turnover.
Well, the Judson offense going for the juggler right there. T.C. Wilson and the fullback.
And there's a defensive holding, obviously declined.
Real nice job right there, T.C. Wilson. He's lined up in the fullback position. He just releases down the field. Nobody picks him up. A nice job right there by Quinney. Being patient, stepping inside of Tyler Yinzer, delivering a nice ball. Boy, and it right on the hands, right in the hip there. Really good catch by T.C. Wilson. Nice job by Herb City recognizing and saving the touchdown.
And Craig Yinzer telling his defense to take a timeout here, try to settle them down on defense here. It's a minute 41 to go in the half. If you go into the dressing room down 17-13, not so bad, but you certainly don't want to give up another touchdown to go behind even more, and that's why he had his defense call the timeout.
Very smart timeout, and really, Craig, you're right. A touchdown here, 24-10 or 24-13, that's a big difference. If they can hold them to a field goal, Quinney's shown he's got a powerful leg. He can boot it from here. But I tell you, you're exactly on point, because this is a very critical junction for the game right now for the Midland Bulldogs.
Well, earlier the visit with D.W. Rutledge, you saw highlights of their 52-0 win over Euless Trinity in the 92 5A Division I Texas Bowl. Judson would come back the next year, 1993, led by the incomparable Gerard Douglas. Judson would take on the Plano Wildcats at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco. It was the Gerard Douglas show. And Clint Rutledge, son of the head coach, DW would lead the attack, but there it is, the explosive Gerard Douglas. 36-13 was the final, and the Rockets made it back-to-back state championships under DW Rutledge as they claimed that crown in 1993. They would follow it up in 95 in an absolute thriller at Texas Stadium against Odessa Permian, and looking for another one here. Looking for more on their 17-13 lead out of the timeout. 1st and 10 from the 20. It's Campbell trying to turn it outside, and great pursuit on the outside. Ole Fitz was there, and of course Herb City in on the tackle. It's a 3-yard gain. How many times have we called that young man's name today in the first half alone?
Well, he is vital. The starting free safety, senior, 6 foot, 190 pounds. Second leading tackler on the team. And boy, does he have some closing speed right there, because we've seen Chauncey Campbell absolutely leave people in the dust. Herb City did a nice job with the angle right there to bring him down for a short gain.
Andre Williams and Brian Robinson, the receivers. Robinson, the man in motion. Draw play to Campbell. Through the pursuit, into the end zone. Chauncey Campbell's 3rd touchdown in the first half.
Greg, talking about Chauncey Campbell through the playoffs over the last 3 games, he has rushed for over 100 yards. 8 times this year, he's rushed for over 150 yards. He's supposedly been bothered by a bum ankle all season, but boy, I tell you what, you don't see any effects of that right now. He's taking control of this football game. Nice job again, being patient, letting the blocking set up, and boy, just the first step explosion through the hole gets him into the end zone.
Quinney's extra point is good, and the Rockets have come storming back here in the second quarter. They now lead it by 11.
Take another look at this play. Nothing more than just a straight hand of power football right up the middle, but Chauncey Campbell is just excellent vision, sees the hole, hits it fast, and in for the touchdown. That's a big score for this Judson offense right before the half, 58 seconds remaining.
And it only took them 53 seconds to move it 67 yards in 3 plays. Of course, the big strike to the fullback Wilson coming out of the backfield on the pass for 47.
You talk about momentum in a football game, but Midland High, Greg, twice now we've seen them drive the ball all the way down deep into Judson territory. They're knocking on the door to go in for the one time they put it in for a touchdown, got called back for penalty. Next play they fumble it. Judson takes it down and scores. On this last series, they also drove the ball down. They were well into scoring position. They were thinking about putting a touchdown on the board, regaining the lead, and then all of a sudden the fumble. Vernon Edwards causes the fumble. Rockets recover it, and a big pass to Wilson, and man, they're right back in the end zone. That's the momentum to those 2 turnovers that really hurt the Midland High team.
Absolutely, and a 3rd turnover, of course, led to another Judson score. So all 3 turnovers have really hurt Midland. Of course, Judson had the 1 fumble return for the touchdown by Wade Cole, but they have overcome that.
Right, mark of a good team as well. take advantage of those turnovers, and Judson wasn't complacent sitting on their lead that they had when they got that football back. They drove right down the field and put a touchdown on the board. That was big.
Thomas elbow to kick off for the Rockets. And Ryan Bowes will field this at the 10-yard line. Looking for an alley, and Bowes lost the football. That's loose on the carpet. Midland High fell back on it, I believe, at the 18-yard line. A mad scramble right at the 18. It looked like Mike Smith might have fallen on it. You see 41 right there, perhaps at the bottom of the pile, but he's really wrestling one of the Rockets for possession of the ball.
Yeah.
It is Midland.
This is because the Judson Rockets are laying some leather on the Midland High team, and they're making them drop the football.
Bulldogs do have 2 timeouts and 50 seconds to work with here late in the first half. Flag goes down as Barber is brought down at the 20-yard line. Pick up of a couple. We'll check the flag. Reginald Lowry, the tackle for Judson.
We have holding on the offense. We'll take it back.
They will take it. Jim Ely was asking the Rockets. They will accept the penalty. And they'll mark it. Holding right at the line of scrimmage, so it'll be marked back to the 8. Craig Yanzer has got to feel like his team's been able to move the football, just as the turnovers have been lethal here in the first half. And now a penalty hurts as the ball is just out over the 8 near the 9-yard line. And now the clock moves. Barber on the ground. Midland may just try to get all their Judson signaling as if they want to stop.
Yeah, they're going to call a timeout. Titus Brothers running over to their official.
Well, they had 3 timeouts left, so they could use their timeouts here and at the very least force Midland High to punt the football.
First charge timeout for Converse Judson.
On the one punt that Midland has had in this first half, Converse Judson did get some good pressure up the middle, so why not use your timeout? Say there's no reason to bring them into the halftime. Force the punt, see if he can go for the block.
Judson trying to get the ball back and see if he can tack on even more points here before the first half is done. 22 seconds left, and they still have 2 timeouts left.
With second down and about 14 yards, it's very likely that they are going to force a Midland punt.
We told you about the 92 and 93 Judson state championship games. This is not the first time Judson played a team from the Permian Basin. 1995 at Texas Stadium, one of the all-time classics. Talk about a seesaw game that went back and forth as the Rockets traded blows throughout the day. This 81-yard touchdown pass, the difference in the game, as the Rockets finally managed to put down Randy May's Odessa Permian Panthers in a thriller at Texas Stadium that claimed the 5A Division I crowd. Judson the winner in that one, 31-28, their 3rd state championship, and that was in 1995. That alone cemented their reputation as the state champions and the team of the decade of the 90s. On the option, here's Rowland, the keeper. And Judson will quickly use timeout number 2 with 17 seconds to go in the first half.
63 Ivy, 51 Carly on the tackle.
And with the second timeout there,
That's a second charge timeout.
it is 3rd down, really, and about 8 needed. Between 8 and 9 yards needed for the first down. And Judson will certainly use its final timeout if the play would keep the clock running and if Midland doesn't pick up the first down.
I'll be very surprised to see Midland here with all the things that have happened to put the ball in the air. So in all probability, we're going to see another running play by Midland. Nice job on that last play, though, to run the option, because strung the ball out a little bit. Ryan Rowland turned it upfield, chewed up a little bit. That's a little bit more time consuming than they say you hit the ball right up in the middle, where the Judson defense is really waiting on you, trying to get the quick stop and the quick timeout.
You know, we mentioned the fact that Midland High, of course, comes out of the Permian Basin. They have Midland Lee won 3 consecutive state titles. Odessa Permian, all their titles. And Craig Yenser was talking about the fact that it's difficult just to play in that district.
Well, certainly of late.
You go 5-0, then you jump into district. Cooper beats you. Abilene High beats you. You know, at that point, the kids could have said, hey, here comes 52. You know, 51 years in a row out of the playoffs, here comes 52. But the character of the kids have shown through that. And then it gets real easy because then you got to play Permian. And you got to try to still get a win, you know. So having to play those people and the coaches in that district. And then, you know, we had to beat Lee, which we hadn't beat since '88, to get in the playoffs. I mean, it is just gut-wrenching every week. And
they managed to gut it out and make it into the playoffs by knocking Lee out of the postseason. And now they were stopped on 3rd down. And Judson used its final timeout to force Midland High to punt the ball with 11 seconds to go here in the first half. But he is right. It's a difficult grind out there in what at one time was called the Little Southwest Conference, when the Southwest Conference, of course, existed on the collegiate scene. But with Midland Lee, Odessa High, Permian, and of course the 2 Abilene schools who were both ranked in the top 10 throughout most of this season in 5A, Abilene High and Cooper. And you look at those state champions. Cooper, of course, has been in the title round a couple of times, lost both of those back in '67 with Jack Milden, and then lost in '96 to Austin Westlake. And you see all the titles for Midland Lee and, of course, Odessa Permian. All right, here's the punt on 4th down. The Bulldogs do get it away. Jeff Jones kick high, fielded at the 40-yard line by Batson. Turn it in outside. Batson trying to take it down the sidelines on the final play of the half, and they'll finally bring him down. A close call there, or Judson might have had more points before the half was done. And we also have a flag on the play. Only Fitz prevented the touchdown, a 48-yard return of a 38-yard punt. And I believe Jim Ely said that will do it for the first half. Now we get ready for half number 2. Line drive kick, and Ryan Bowes will field it for the Midland Bulldogs. And a nice return out over the 30 to the 32-yard line, and that is where Midland will start. So the Bulldogs will get good field position.
Well, they have good field position, and it'll be important for them. This is a critical quarter for Midland if they're going to stay in this game, Craig, because right now they're a little bit on their heels. They've had some success moving the football. They've got it down into scoring position twice, and costly turnovers have kept them out of the end zone. Once on the penalty and then the fumble after. And then on the ensuing drive down, they also turned the ball over on a big sack there by Vernon Jones. But they have shown that they can move the football. They just have to get their confidence and keep that intensity going right now.
Ryan rolling under center to start the second half. The handoff to T.J. Barber. Barber plows forward for 4 yards before Bruce Gross, the linebacker, brings him down. 2nd down and 6 for Midland. You heard Craig Yenser said they feel as though they can certainly move the football. And Cody Seth, the right tackle, hobbling off the field as Ryan Rowland looks at there. Seth was the player who was injured at the end of the first half.
Yeah, he got dinged on that big punt return by Converse Judson. He was down for quite a while. Looks like he re-aggravated it.
Certainly unhappy about the injury as he heads over to the sidelines. He's a big part of that Midland High offensive front. He's also the team's deep snapper. 2nd down and 6 for the Bulldogs. On the option, turning to keep it, is Rowland, and he takes it to the 40-yard line. He's following the block of the man who took Cody Seth's place at right tackle, Michael Cargile. Reginald Lowry, the rush in, the tackle for Judson. Another look at it.
See Ryan Rowland doing a nice job there. He's got the big long body. He's about 6'2". He's pushing his blockers in front of him. He had Wade Colvin, fullback. Again, as you said, following behind Cargill, getting close to picking up the first down.
3rd down and a yard needed for the first down. Barber knocked short of it. Barber was stopped short. He turned it in the middle, and Marvin Baker, the nose guard, stood him up and brought him down.
Greg, that's coaching. The adjustments made right there on that play. All during the first half, T.J. Barber had this cutback open to him. He tries to make the cutback now. Guess who's standing right there? Marvin Barker, the nose guard, as you said, stopping him short of the first down.
Midland High is about a half-yard short of the first down, but Greg Yenser, not wanting to risk it at this early stage of the 3rd quarter, will send Jeff Jones on the punt.
And you talked about the snapper, Cody Seth out. Josh Hosslinger, the wide receiver, is in handling deep snapping duties.
Jason Castillo back deep to receive the punt. And the kick is a fair catch and then fumbled, and then Castillo falls on it at the 23-yard line. So Midland goes 3 and out, and Judson will get the football when we come back. A sunny day in the Alamo City. Temperature in the mid-60s, but of course things are pretty hot inside the Alamo Dome, where the Bulldogs of Midland and the Rockets of Judson are going at it here in the third quarter. Converse Judson, its first possession of the second half, with Dustin Quinney, the senior quarterback, at the helm. Rockets operate from their own 24. 2 tight ends, 2 men in the backfield, and it's the fullback, T.C. Wilson. The call off the left side, and Wilson with a gain of about 3. Casey Zachary, the linebacker, the tackle for Midland High.
Craig, this is a critical possession for the Midland defense. Almost as important as it was for their offense to make something happen, which they weren't able to. First half.
Judson shifts into an eye look with 2 receivers. Flag goes down as the toss is to Campbell, and Chauncey Campbell has big running room, but this may well come back. Campbell will take it all the way down to the 31-yard line. It would be a gain of 32 yards, but this one's going to come back, I believe, due to a false start against the Rockets. Jim Ely, our referee, will tell us.
Craig, what happened on that play was the wide receivers, both of them were not set. And the wide receiver did not get, they both moved. You won't get to see it from this shot, but on the corners there, on the outside, both wide receivers, both of them moved. One of them stayed in motion. The other guy did not get set, and that's what caused the penalty. And that really negates a huge run by Chauncey Campbell.
Would have been a 32-yard gallop. See Dustin Quinney trotting out there, as well as Brandon Coleman, one of his receivers. Each team with 3 penalties. Ball is now back to the 22-yard line. It'll be second down and 12 for Judson. Coleman, one of the receivers, along with Andre Williams. It is Coleman, the receiver, in motion at the bottom of your screen. And off play action, the pass goes to Wilson out of the backfield. And Wilson tripped up near the first down. In fact, may have it. Matt Simmons, the strong safety, kept it from being more than the 13 yards that Wilson picked up, in another Rocket first down.
The Midland secondary, Craig, is doing a nice job of covering the downfield receivers. What's not happening is they're not being able to pick up the running backs out of the backfield with their linebackers. And you're seeing right there, a very talented T.C. Wilson running out, just outruns the linebacker, makes the catch, picks up a big first down.
Brian Robinson and Brandon Coleman, the wideouts, again from the eye, and Judson trying to get a timeout, not apparently set on offense, and so the Rockets will take a timeout here. 9 minutes and 15 seconds to go here in the third quarter, and the Rockets just weren't quite set.
Go back to that pass play that Quinney just completed to T.C. Wilson, and we're talking about the matchups and the thing. Now in the secondary, again, we're seeing, for the most part, the Bulldog defenders being able to stay with the downfield deep receivers. But when you're seeing T.C. Wilson come out, there's not a linebacker or a rover or a strong safety that's able to run with this guy. He's 6'3". They list him as 205. He's got excellent hands coming out of the backfield, and he's really becoming a weapon for this Judson offense on the play-action pass.
Both of these teams had to win 4 games to get here. Midland High, from the quarterfinals on, won a game here in the Alamo Dome, as Midland and Arlington Lamar each came south to San Antonio, and Midland High beat a good ball club coached by Eddie Peach, and then knocked off Tyler Lee in the semifinals at Texas Stadium, and another road trip. And you see Judson's road after bye district. Both teams were really tested, having to go overtime in the bye district round, but moving here to the state championship round, to the ground. And it's Campbell out to the 41-yard line, and a quick hit of 6 yards. Alton Reddick, the defensive tackle, on the stop for Midland. Reddick there at 5'10" and 260 pounds. See Dustin Quinney's numbers, efficient through the air. Second down and 4, Judson. Campbell gets the toss again. Excellent pursuit by Yenzer, and they stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Tyler Yenzer, the initial hit.
Nice job right there of knifing through and not staying blocked. It's okay to get blocked, not okay to stay blocked. Tyler Yenser did a nice job right there of shedding the blocker and knifing through to get down around the feet of Chauncey Campbell. That's about the best play that we've seen stopping him at the point of attack so far, because he's been very good, Craig, at being patient, setting it up, and then bam, knocking it through.
3rd down and 4 for Judson. Brandon Coleman, the lone wideout, on the option. Quinny stumbles and then regains his balance and a 1st down to midfield. And in the Midland territory, Yenser the tackle. But how about the perseverance on that run by Dustin Quinny?
Well, the perseverance was great, but it wasn't as great as this play fake. Watch here, the fake handoff. Everybody's going for T.C. Wilson. Almost loses his balance right there. Excellent job of maintaining it. Well, Tyler Yenser saved a touchdown run right there.
Put it down at the 50-yard line, and Judson moves the chains again. Andre Williams, the split receiver. And again, this time to the ground, and a pickup of a couple by the fullback Wilson. Close to 3 yards, near the 47-yard line. Justin Kendrick and Casey Zachary team up to make the tackle.
Craig, this is exactly what Converse Judson wanted to do starting the second half. They forced a 3-and-out from Midland High. They took the ball, decent field position, but now you talk about chewing up some time and running some clock out right now and picking up 1st down.
2nd down, 7 yards to go. Judson, Campbell, the run again, trying to pick his way through a hole, and he picks up about 3 more to the 44-yard line. The tackle made by Zachary, and a big part of Judson's success with their skill positions is the play of the offensive line, and you only have to ask the head coach Jim Rackley to get him to brag on those guys.
Our offensive line comes off the ball. We got, we're not exceptionally big. Our tackles are big. We got our guards. We're probably a little bit undersized, but boy, they come off the ball. Their pads are down. They got great head placement, and they work on sticking on there and staying and getting you off that line of scrimmage.
That play, Herb City, the free safety, managed to get around the offensive line to stop Chauncey Campbell for just a yard gain. A big stop there for Midland High, forcing Judson to punt.
That's a very athletic play by Herb City, coming from his free safety position. Now, he's sitting, Craig, inside the tackle box, playing the run, and as he sees the option of the flow go the other way, that was an outstanding individual effort for him to get over the top, grab Chauncey Campbell by the back of the shoulder pads, and bring him down short of the 1st down.
Quinny to punt the football. He's kicked twice today, averaging 40 yards per punt. This one going inside the 10, and it will bounce on a hop into the end zone, 43 yards, 23 on the net. After it'll come back to the 20 on the touchback. And when we come back, it's Judson still by 11, 24-13.
Welcome back to the Texas Bowl here at the Alamo Dome. I'm with State Farm Insurance's Ronnie Vanderveer. Of course, State Farm is a big sponsor of UIL. And just like to know why State Farm has gotten involved with high school sports in Texas.
Well, we're glad to be here today, and the Texas State Farm agents are always excited to be involved to show we're a good neighbor. We have 1,400 agents in the state of Texas, and we wanted to show the support. Can you believe the excitement here today?
It's a very nice crowd here. You live where we do, right? Well, hey, talk about the State Farm Scholar Athlete of the Week award a little bit. Of course, it's seen on High School Extra, a good show, by the way, each week. But talk about that award a little bit.
Yeah, well, the Scholar Athlete program, as you know, is awarded to a player that has done something outstanding, that's a good athlete, as well as a good scholar. And we've got 29 so far through this year have been awarded in the state of Texas. It's a great program.
All right, well, there'll be another one every Sunday on High School Extra. Ronnie Vanderveer, thank you very much. Craig, Shane.
All right, thanks very much, Dave. On that play, you saw Ryan Rowland scrambling and then going out of the backfield, finding T.J. Barber for 27 yards and a 1st down at the Midland High 47.
Talk about a little improvisation there by Ryan Rowland.
100 yards rushing this afternoon for the day now. Barber is up to 116 yards on 15 carries and a touchdown. 1st and 10.
Well, Craig, here's what we've seen Midland High do. So far in the 1st half, they were able to move the ball down the field, but once they got down and deep into the Judson territory, they just were not able to get it together and put points on the board. It's going to be critical for them to do that on this drive.
4 wideouts out of the shotgun blitz look from Judson, but the Rockets don't blitz. But here's the pressure from down linemen, and the pass is thrown away because the pressure was coming from Marvin Baker and Reginald Lowry, the inside and the outside pressure.
And we talked about earlier in this game about the weight disparity between the Midland High offensive line and the Judson defensive line. And we talked about being quick and how being quick and cutting through and getting the angles and disrupting that big power scheme would be helpful. We've seen the Judson Rockets, Craig, from their down 4 linemen, their 4 interior linemen are always getting back now in Ryan Rowland's face, almost putting him down for sacks, putting a lot of pressure on him. So nice job right now by Converse Judson knifing through that big Midland line and putting pressure on the quarterback.
Ryan Rowland is 6 out of 8 for 75 yards. It's 2nd down and 10. And this time they'll hand it on the end around, coming to the right side, looking for running with Michael Smith. Takes it inside the 20, and Smith with a first down to the Judson 16, a 13-yard end around. Brandon Jackson, the tackle for the Rockets. And this is a guy they don't mind. He's their number 3 receiver, Shea, but they don't mind handing him the ball on an end around and even the possible pass from time to time.
But he's nice. He picks up a really nice block here from his lineman, and he's got the Jets to turn it on. And Brandon Jackson taking a good angle of pursuit to bring him down. But Midland High, Craig, here they are. They're knocking on the door again.
They've had turnovers down at this end of the field where they have been moving the football in the past. Otherwise, they might still even be leading this football game. Out of the shotgun, right across the middle, touchdown Midland High. Jason Russell from Ryan Rowland, and the Bulldogs are right back in this game.
Craig, last week against Tyler Lee, here's what happened. The Midland High Bulldogs winning that game. They played the first half in their spread offense. Their spread offense wasn't quite getting it done. They came back after the half, and they went to the power I, and they started going. You can see maybe going for 2 here.
Yep, they're going to call timeout to think about this right now, because remember, the Bulldogs on their 2nd touchdown, place kicker Jason Crownover stumbled stepping up to the ball, and they tried to improvise a 2-point conversion try. It failed. You get another look at the touchdown here.
Craig, take a look here. Here's the inside receiver. He's just going to release up the middle, and he's going to basically go uncovered. And this is what the spread offense can do. This is the kind of pressure it puts on you. Really nice job right there by Ryan Rowland waiting for that play. That was actually the outside receiver coming back on the inside there. Excellent play call, though. And I was getting the point I was going to make about playing Tyler Lee last week. They came in and they took control of that game in the 3rd quarter because they went back and they said, you know what, let's run the I formation, let's go power football, let's go mano a mano with these Tyler Lee guys, because Tyler Lee was doing a very good job of defending the spread. Well, seeing on this particular drive right here, it looks like the spread offense is what's going to be the ticket here for the Midland High Bulldogs. Coach Yenser and his staff has got these guys knocking on the door for the 2-point conversion.
An important 2-point conversion try coming up gets it to where a field goal would tie the game. And again, this is also to try to make up for the missed point after try when Crownover, the kicker, stumbled on the 2nd touchdown. They go for 2 now with Zach Sledge and TJ Barber, the receivers at the top of your screen. 3 more at the bottom, a 5 wide out, empty set backfield, and trying to keep it as Rowland, and down he'll go. Aaron Ivey, not fooled, zeroed right in on the quarterback, and the try for 2 fails.
We talk about how effective Ryan Rowland is as a runner. They tried to get him on the quarterback draw right there. They spread the field, but what Judson did not do, Craig, was they bunched up around the ball. They stayed inside the tackle box. They had man-on-man coverage out there. And Aaron Ivey doing a really nice job of staying at home, recognizing that this was going to be a quarterback draw, bringing Rowland down for loss. He never had a chance.
So it's 24-19, and Craig Yenser, you could see the unhappy look there, knowing his team is down 5 points here. But at the midway mark of the 3rd quarter, a must-produce drive, I think, for Midland, and it does produce 6 points.
No doubt about it. The 3rd quarter is very critical for these guys because they just lost momentum right at the end of the 1st half. Everything that they were doing wasn't going well. Only took them 39 seconds to punch that ball in, and really TJ Barber was the catalyst there. Rowland doing a nice job, Craig, way down on his own end, almost took a sack, lobbed the ball out. Barber picks up about 26 yards, and then the big run that he had to get him down in scoring position.
Well, and as we've said, certainly Midland High's offense is explosive enough to score quickly. You heard Craig Yenser saying they're confident they can move the football against the Judson defense. They've only really stopped themselves with the turnovers, although Judson forced a couple of those turnovers also. Credit the Rocket defense. Take a look back downfield, and the kickoff to come from Crownover. And that'll be fielded at the 15-yard line by Jason Castillo. Flag comes down. Castillo trying to turn the corner, and he's down at the 19-yard line. There's a flag down as well. Ole Fitz comes down to make the tackle for Midland High. Check the flag. And the
Midland looking like it's going to go against the Rockets.
On the run back, we have blocking below the waist. On the team with the ball on the run back.
So that will penalize the Rockets further, adding to the chagrin of head coach Jim Rackley. Look of intensity there, but they'll mark it from the spot of the foul, and Judson's going to operate from just inside their own 10-yard line now after that penalty. Talk about key moments in the football game. Here's another one coming up. And you see Jim Rackley trying to get his guys to play mistake-free football.
He's making sure that they understand how important this drive is to them right now.
First and 10 Rockets, back in at quarterback, Joel Walden. From the eye. And on the ground to Campbell, and right at the line of scrimmage. Taylor Lang, the defensive tackle, made the stop. No more than a half yard, if that, on the play. It'll be second down and still nearly 10 needed for the first. As we move inside the midway mark of the third quarter.
Craig, Midland High has got to put 8 or 9 men in the box right now, so you see single coverage out on the wide receivers for Judson.
Walden has attempted 3 passes in his shifts as quarterback. Speaking of shifts, an illegal shift there. Frank Weatherspoon, the big right tackle, just coming out of the three-point stance just a hair too early, and that'll cost Judson 5. Midland fans sensing perhaps a change in momentum here.
Well, there certainly is a change in momentum. When you're 344 pounds, though, it doesn't take much of a flinch to draw a flag. Really uncharacteristic, though, Craig, for this Judson Rocket team. We've seen them on their first drive get a penalty for the wide receivers both being in motion at the same time. Now we see Witherspoon drawing a foul. That's not what you expect to see out of this well-coached football team.
Second and 15, the draw play to Campbell with big running room. Campbell with only Herb City to beat, and he can't totally shake him as City runs him down, but not before Chauncey Campbell takes it 44 yards out to the 49-yard line.
Well, you talk about a change in momentum. What an outstanding run right there by Chauncey Campbell. Watch the way that he comes through the hole. He just picks his way through, makes nice little moves, little hints and fakes, and then turns on the Jets, and it takes everything that Herb City has to try to bring him down.
We told you about T.J. Barber over 100 yards rushing. Chauncey Campbell now above the 100-yard mark. 18 carries for 133 yards and 3 touchdowns. From the 49 of Judson. Walden looking to throw. That one too high, intended out on the flank. He was trying to get Siamak Chabakro, and it was incomplete. Ryan Bowes on the coverage for Midland.
But just when you think this Midland or this Judson offense is down, they're going to have to run and try to get out of a hole. They pop the big run with Chauncey Campbell.
Dangerous receivers, Williams and Robinson returning to the Rocket lineup. They're the split receivers you see out of this I set. That's Robinson in motion. Second down and play action. Looking to throw. Walden over the middle. Robinson can't hold on, or did he? They may have ruled that a catch, and a fumble will say it's a catch, I think, and that he's down at the 38-yard line. Robinson, by the way, is still down himself on the field. Kendrick credited with the tackle. The ball is at the 39-yard line, and Judson has a first down.
Really nice job right there, recognizing he gets the catch. Ground can't cause a fumble. That's a good call by the officials.
Absolutely.
Really nice job right there by Joel Walden. He had a little convoy going out there, leading him. Alan Quadell, the right and the left tackle, was leading him out there. You see on the sidelines right now, Brian Robinson, hoping that he's all right.
First and 10, Judson at the Midland 39. It's Campbell, shakes off one tackler, and still surging forward for 6 yards to the 33. Herb City, the tackle for Midland High.
He made the tackle, but Alton Reddick, the big defensive tackle, 260-pounder had a hand on Chauncey Campbell. And just to show you that the power that this young man has, he runs right through this arm tackle and picks up 6 yards. He should have been stopped, Greg, for no more than a yard gain at best.
Second down and 4. See Judson with the edge and time of possession in this quarter after Midland High had it in the first half. And it's Campbell again, still on his feet. Campbell another first down. Down to the Midland High 16-yard line. Julius Durham the stop for the Bulldogs, but 18 more yards and another rocket first down.
A really special running back, Chauncey Campbell. As we talked about it at the Open, Craig, no fumbles this year. He touches the ball as often as he does, running between the tackles as often as he does, taking kind of wicked shots like that as he just did on that run, still manages to hold on to the football.
From the Bulldogs 16, Campbell will get the call again. Trying to turn it outside, shaking tackles, and he's right near the first down marker. Casey Zachary, the linebacker. Julius Durham, the defensive tackle, bring him down. But they'll spot it about, a yard, maybe 2 yards shy, depending on where he stepped out. They'll put it down at the 8-yard line. So he's picked up 8 on the play. It'll be second down and 2.
This is what you would call a very prototypical Converse Judson drive. They are taking the ball, nothing more than pitching it back to the tailback, creating big holes with the offensive line, and the tailback exploiting those.
Second and 2 for Judson. Walden looking the throw. Still looking, and he can also tuck it in and run. A flag comes down. Walden would have the first down at the 3-yard line, but the flag came in toward the end of the play. Zachary the stop for Midland. Jim Ely will tell us.
There is no flag on the play. No pass was thrown.
No pass thrown. So it will be first and goal. Judson at the Midland 3.
Greg, take a look right now. Midland defense has been on the field for most of this third period. When you're running the football, a lot of times you've got all your guys chasing the runner. It starts to tire you out. It looks like it's starting to take a little bit of a toll on this Midland defense.
First down and goal. You see Judson offense been on the field a lot of this third quarter. Wilson stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a half yard picked up. It'll be second down and goal inside the 3. Matt Simmons on the stop for Midland.
Really impressed with this drive by Judson. When you're protecting a lead, as they are, when you don't have momentum and you're backed up on your own end by the result of a penalty, to put together a time-consuming drive like this is really impressive.
Second down and goal inside the 3. On the option, Walden is stopped at the 2. Zachary again coming over for the tackle for the Bulldogs.
Well, that was a huge play by Casey Zachary. He is the leading tackler. He came into today's game, Craig, 144.
Third and goal. Judson at the Midland High 2-yard line. Two tight ends out of the eye. The handoff to Campbell. And Campbell is stopped for a 2-yard loss. Back at the 4-yard line, Ryan Bowes, the corner, with help from Matt Simmons, the safety. Bring him down. The tackle there. And now it's fourth and goal at the 4.
Well, he talked about the Midland defense being winded. I give these guys huge credit. What a goal line stand. Outstanding play by strong safety Matt Simmons, getting a little bit of help from Ryan Bowes. We have not seen them be able to stop this juggernaut offense by Converse Judson. Right there on the goal line stand, they pulled up their neck. Outstanding job by that Midland defense.
Rockets will try to get 3. This will be a 20-yard field goal attempt, and the kick is no good.
Right.
Winnie missed that one. And that long drive downfield, you see the Midland sideline fired up. Nothing out of that drive for Judson.
Nothing but they did chew up a lot of clock. There's only 36 seconds left. What a huge emotional boost right now for the Midland High Bulldogs. They did what they had to do, Craig. They bowed their necks, and I am very impressed with the way that they had that goal line stand. Outstanding individual efforts there by Casey Zachary, by Matt Simmons, and by Ryan Bowes. There's a placement in the kick. He just pushed it right. And he knows it right as soon as he hit it.
Now it's up, and you see the reaction from the Midland sideline. We're late in the third quarter. Still another quarter to go, but now it's up to the Midland offense to give that Midland defense a rest. Out of the shotgun, it's Barber the carry on first down, and he picks up 4 yards as Aaron Ivey makes the tackle for Judson.
Well, Aaron Ivey, we've called his name a lot as he's been in the backfield. This kid, Craig, squats over 400 pounds. high school senior 400-pound squat. That gives you a lot of leverage when you're playing down in that interior line.
Second down, and you know what? I think what Craig Yenser's going to do is going to take all the time he can to rest his defense. He's going to let the clock run out here in the third quarter.
Good call.
So we're going to go to the fourth quarter. Craig Yenser's Bulldogs and Midland High back in this game, but it is Jim Rackley's Judson Rockets from Converse who lead it through 3 quarters of the 5A Division I Texas Bowl in the Alamo Dome. It's Judson 24 and Midland High 19. We'll be back for the final quarter of this one on Fox Sports Net. In San Antonio.
Quarter. Second down and 6 for Midland High on the Bulldog 24.
Rolling the option pitch to Barber, and Barber a couple yards, maybe 3, as he went across the 25 to the 26-yard line, near the 27. It'll be third down. Aaron Ivey, the tackle for the Rockets.
But what a nice job right there by Aaron Ivey, refusing to get hooked, and that's what you have to have happen to your defensive end if that option is going to be successful. You need him to be hooked so you can get out around the corner and then make the run pass or the run pitch option. But Aaron Ivey doing an outstanding job of stringing that out, and then Darryl Carley coming in and mopping up on the running back.
Third and about 3.5 needed for the first. Midland High converted its first 3 third-down situations, haven't converted since. 3 of 6 over the middle, and that's incomplete. And the man who got his hand on the football was Darryl Carley. It's incomplete, and it's 4th down. And
Darryl Carley did a nice job right there, Craig, of reading Ryan Rowland's eyes. He was trying to throw the inside skinny slant. He reads his eyes perfectly, runs right out there, jumps up. Well, you don't expect linebackers to make many catches like that, but he did a really nice job knocking that ball away.
Jeff Jones, who has averaged 38 yards per punt all season, is doing just that today on his 3 punts. Batson and Castillo back deep to receive it. This is a nice kick. Very nice, and it drives Batson back to his 27-yard line. Trying to turn it outside, and Downey will go with the 34, a 7-yard return. And that's where the Rockets will have it. 11:02 to go here in San Antonio. Judson leads it by 5. They're in the holiday mood here in San Antonio. And Judson feeling better about it as we look at the Gatorade game summary. And Shea Walker, again, those opposing points off the turnovers, the biggest story of today's game.
Points off the turnovers. And look at this third quarter. When Judson trying to protect the lead, Craig, they come in and just ground control, chew up the clock. 9 minutes in the third period. And really, if it weren't for that 39-second touchdown drive that the Midland Bulldogs engineered, they'd be in big trouble.
Campbell, of course, has had the best day so far on the ground.
But Chauncey Campbell's been nothing short of magnificent as he has allowed everything to develop in front of him. And boy, once he sees the crease, he is gone. He's shown that he can run with power, he can run with speed. He's got good patience and recognition. Dances nimbly through the back. This guy's only a junior, Craig. He's coming back next year.
On first down and 10, handoff, and it's T.C. Wilson picking up 2 yards before Taylor Lang makes the tackle. Clock moves inside 11 minutes to go in the game. Important for Midland High to stop Judson, not only to keep the Rockets off the scoreboard and keep it a 1-score game. Field position becomes important at this stage of the game.
Yeah, field position is going to be really critical, but what really needs to happen, as you mentioned at the end of the third quarter there, the Midland defense was able to catch a little bit of a breather.
A little wraparound draw to Wilson this time, and a leg tackle prevents him from getting well into the secondary. Taylor Lang brought him down, but it's 8 yards, and looks like enough for the first down for the Rockets. It is.
But just when you thought Converse Judson was going to be happy pounding away at you, tossing it to the tailback, they run a little bit of a tricky handoff. Excellent job right there by Dustin Quinney to kind of backhand it into the belly there of T.C. Wilson. Almost broke that one for a big game.
First time we've seen that wraparound draw today. Now they'll toss it to Campbell. Picks up 1 block, but he goes down after a short gain to pick up a 3, and only Fitz, the rover, comes over to make the stop for the Dogs. Wilson out there trying to lay the block out as you look at Dustin Quinney, who has alternated at quarterback with the junior Joel Walden today.
He has alternated, but you know, on that play, Craig, he was leading. He tosses the ball out. He gets in front, him and T.C. Wilson. So you got your quarterback leading down there throwing the block. And that's just power smash mouth football.
Inside 10 minutes to play. 2nd and 7, Judson from the Rocket 48. Quinney, the draw play, and Campbell to the 50-yard line and stopped at midfield. Casey Zachary comes over along with Alton Reddick on the tackle for the Bulldogs. Big 3rd and 5 coming up here.
Nice job right there by Casey Zachary. We talked about him being the leading tackler in this team coming into today's game. He's also forced a couple of fumbles this year, has a couple of fumble recoveries, a very active middle linebacker.
3rd down and 5 from the I set with 2 receivers and everybody coming to their feet here in the Alamo Dome. Quinney looking for a receiver. Now he's going to tuck it in and run. He's got a lot of running room. Quinney, the first down as Dustin Quinney takes it inside the 35 and down to the 33, 17 yards, almost all on his own.
The Midland High defense absolutely played that perfectly. He tries to do a little play action out to his right, and Matt Simmons, the strong safety, comes in and just absolutely decimates it, blows it up. Dustin Quinney, the senior, Craig, recognizing that, takes it and turns around, goes back to the weak side where nobody's at home, picks up a huge first down for Converse Judson.
At the 33 of Midland High. Back to the ground to Chauncey Campbell, and a gain of 2 to the 31-yard line, and dragging him down from behind, Casey Zachary and Julius Durham. 2nd down and 8.
It's a little frustrating when you're a defense, when you got your opponent 3rd and 5, and you know that you've absolutely played it exactly right, and the quarterback turns around, and you're not expecting him to turn around and break it back to the weak side on a scrambled, on a broken play on a scramble and pick up a first down.
Clock continues to move as we approach 8.5 minutes remaining. 2nd down and 8. From the eye, Quinney, the quick drop and lofting it. Too much on that one as he was looking downfield for Brian Robinson. Well covered by Ryan Bowes. Some fans wanted to push there, but I believe that was an uncatchable pass anyway, and it brings up 3rd down.
That and running the post corner route, Brian Robinson. Here, I like Converse Judson though, Craig. I like the play call because they've been successful running the ball. They get it down here. It's 2nd and long. They're figuring they're going to try to tee it up and run it right at you again. And they try to hit the post corner for the long ball.
3rd and 8. Rockets at the Midland 31. Quinney trying to tuck it in and run, and Midland snuffs it out. Alton Reddick fills the hole, and they drop him for a loss of 4. That's a huge loss because it takes the Rockets out of field goal range. It's now 4th down.
Now I'm wondering here, if you just go for it on 4th down, this is really not, you don't really need to punt the ball.
It'd be 4th and 12 at the 35-yard line. Of course, they could try to angle it out inside the 5-yard line or at least inside the 10. And Quinney will go back in punt formation.
That's what they're going to try, but at this point, I don't see a big risk necessarily of running the ball. Of course, if they down it inside the 10-yard line, then obviously this is the right call.
The up back is Kyle Fox, who has returned it, but this will be a punt as Quinney angles. Bowes called for the fair catch, and he made it at the 9-yard line, and probably a wise move. In fact, a late flag comes in as one of the Rockets hit it. It really becomes a wise move now. She has started to say a wise move because there were several Rockets downfield who might have been able to down that punt inside the 5. Now it's going to come out further, I believe, for a halo or at least a fair catch.
They're going to call the violation because you're exactly right, Craig. There were enough Judson Rockets down there. I tell you, at the high school level, to see execution on special teams to that degree is really impressive. You got to really give the Converse Judson coaching staff a lot of credit because they did the pooch kick. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. They had enough guys down around it.
And interference, 5 yards.
And you get the violation of the halo on the fair catch, but.
And that'll move it out to the 14, which is where Midland High will start it. Craig Yenzer's ball club trails by 5, and if ever Midland High needed a performance out of its offensive line, it needs one now, and Yenzer believes his guys have been equal to the task.
I would have to say offensive line's been the strength of our team all year. As our skill players learn the offense, got to understand the offense, and then find out who's going to make the plays. The steady part throughout has been the offensive line.
They protect well on 1st down as the pass works for 11 yards from Roland to Zach Sledge. Brandon Jackson the tackle there, and Midland High moves the chains.
Boy, right on cue, talking about that offensive line. Really doing a nice job of giving Ryan Rowland enough time to throw the football, Craig. It takes a while for this route to develop. Look, there's nobody in Rowland's face. He's got plenty of time to stand there, let that route develop as Sledge drags across the middle. I mean, those things take a little bit of time, and you've got to give your quarterback the opportunity to see those alleys, and they did a really nice job on that play.
You see the discrepancy there, the offensive line against the Judson defensive front. Rowland will keep it himself, and up the middle as he picks up 5, make it 7 out to the 40-yard line. When we went to break, we told you it was going to be at the 14. The penalty actually moved it out to the 22-yard line. It's a 10-yard violation because the fair catch was actually made at the 12, and then at that point Bose was shoved back, and so it was a 10-yard walk-off out to the 22. They picked up 11 on the pass and now 7 on the run by Rowland. 2nd down and 3 for Midland. The clock rolls with 6.5 to go in the championship. Out of the shotgun. Rowland will hand off to Barber. Barber cannot escape the grasp of Darryl Carley. Picks up 2, and a big 3rd and 1 coming up now for the Bulldogs. Is this the point in the game where you talk about this is where championships are won and lost?
Yeah, absolutely.
3rd and 1 with half the final quarter to go.
Yep, and trailing by 5. Actually, Craig, I don't think he got a very good spot.
Yeah, it's about 1.5 yards needed for the first down here. Midland High is 3 of 7 on 3rd down. Look at the Judson defenses fired up as well, and TJ Barber may be called upon here to deliver once more, but Midland will work from the shotgun. 3rd and 1.5 yards. It is Barber, and Barber on the 2nd effort gets close. It depends on where they spot it.
That was incredible 2nd effort, Craig. Barber, a senior, 5'9", only 180 pounds. He got hit at the line of scrimmage, and he was able to get his legs down and lower that 5'9" frame and shove the pile. You talk about some power. That's some leg work going right there for TJ Barber. A really impressive run.
It was enough for the first down, as Barber is up to 126 yards on 19 carries today. His counterpart, Chauncey Campbell, 170 yards and 25 carries and 3 touchdowns. Barber has 1 score. 1st and 10, Midland from the Bulldog 44. Throwing up the left sideline, and that ball is incomplete. It was intended for Michael Smith. It was really popped hard by the free safety, Jason Castillo.
We haven't seen Midland take many shots downfield. And on this particular play, looks like Ryan Rowland, he's got Michael Smith out there. Lays it up, but as you're right, he takes a shot right there. Jason Castillo doing a nice job. Jason Castillo has got 4 interceptions. He's no stranger to being around the football. 7 pass breakups also.
Batson, the safety, comes out now as Judson beefs up its defensive front, adding Shannon Anderson, who recovered a fumble earlier in this game, to the down lineman. 2nd and 10 for Midland. On the option, the keeper, and through a hole. Ryan Rowland was 1 broken tackle away from taking it the distance. Castillo perhaps saved a touchdown. He holds Rowland to 9 yards.
Talk about a key decision right there by Ryan Rowland, Craig. As soon as he got on the corner, he didn't wait to see if that thing was getting strung out or not. They were going to try to run the option left. Watch as he takes the ball. He'll cut right off of Josh Morris, his left tackle. Boom, right there. Really nice job of recognizing and exploding up, and Castillo saving a touchdown.
Another big 3rd and 1 for the Bulldogs. From the Judson 47, it's Barber, and he's got the first down at the 45.
Those are some tough yards right there, man. I'm telling you, the Judson Rocket defensive guys are getting their pads low. The offensive linemen are firing out. I mean, that's tough turf to gain right there.
You see the time remaining. They set the chains.
Talked about Aaron Ivey early on that squat. Berlin Jones, 460-pound squat. You're talking about some leverage up there by those 2 defensive tackles for Judson.
Clock now moves. 4.5 minutes to go in the ball game. Inside the 45 of the Rockets. Midland trying to move toward a go-ahead touchdown. A pump fake. And now Rowland's got to get rid of it, and he's going deep, and he's got a man inside the 10. Touchdown, TJ Barber, 45 yards, and Midland is back in front.
Craig, what an outstanding play by the seniors, Ryan Rowland and TJ Barber. That play was not designed to go to TJ Barber. He was trying to throw the wide receiver screen out to his right. As he looked back, it was covered very well defensed by Judson. We're going to get a timeout call right now.
Midland will take
by
it.
Midland High, but Craig, as we take a look at this play, you're going to see Roland. He's going to look down here. He wants to get the ball here. It's not open. The Judson defense is going to come up. Now watch what T.J. Barber does. He comes down. He recognizes his quarterback is in trouble, and then he breaks it down deep down the middle of the field. Roll the tape here, guys. You're going to see an outstanding football play.
The pump there, and you're right, good recognition by Roland, and then Barber just does the rest, getting beyond the defense.
Yeah, but Barber, he recognized that his quarterback was in trouble, Craig, and when he saw that, he just outraced the defenders. Take another look at it here. What a play. Looking. He wanted to throw it left, or to his right. It wasn't there. And the poise of Roland to stay in the pocket like that and deliver a beautiful pass in the face of pressure coming into him at such a critical point in the ball game just speaks volumes about these kids.
He shook off the tackle attempt of Titus Brothers, and here's what Midland High is considering. They're going to go for 2, obviously, to try to get into a field goal lead. You got to be careful, though. You're up by 1, and remember, a mistake on an offensive going for 2 conversion can be returned.
Go the other way. That's right.
It cost Furman a game against Appalachian State this season when Furman's score was 7 seconds to go up by 1. They decided to throw rather than try to attempt a kick to be blocked. It was intercepted and run back for 2.
You're right, and I mean, I would expect to see Midland be a little conservative here as they come back to the spread offense. They tried this earlier on the quarterback draw. I don't think they'll try to run that play again.
The Bulldogs will go for 2. A snap. Roland with the pump fake. Now he's got a target in the corner, but he overthrows the man wide open there. Michael Smith was open, and Ryan Roland knew it. He said, that's on me.
Yeah, he had that one, Craig. That was one that he wishes he could take back. He just let that ball go a little too high and sailed it right over Michael Smith's head. But a nice job by Yenzer and his staff of getting that play call, and they spread it out nicely. They had a chance to make the conversion. He just wasn't able to execute it.
What a remarkable year it's been for that man, Craig Yenzer, and trying to get his guys to buy into a brand new season and a brand new coaching staff and a brand new offensive system.
You know, new terminology, new whole numbering systems, completely new defense. It's pretty amazing that it shows their intelligence, hard work, what they put into this.
And here they are with a 1-point lead, but still a lot of time left in this game. 4:14 to play.
Greg, another thing that Coach Yenzer and his staff has done is they've tried to bring a new attitude into this Midland High team, and he told me earlier this week that they have 4 words to live by: trust, pride, commitment, and integrity. And he said when he first came in, he took Ryan Bowes off to the side during spring ball. He said, hey, can I trust you? You don't know if you can trust me. Let's develop this bond. He's done that. He and his staff has done it. They've obviously duplicated the success that they've had at Hereford. They brought it now to this Midland High program. And Coach Yenzer is not satisfied with this one run to the state championship. His expectation is that he's going to get this program, keep it on track, and continue to be a perennial playoff contender.
They've needed all 4 of those words to fight back from down 24-13 at the half to leading 25-24. 4:14 to go in the football game. And now they have to kick off, and there's still plenty of time for the Judson Rockets of Jim Rackley to come downfield, and all they need is a field goal to win it.
Well, they've got a very capable field goal kicker in Dustin Quinney. He's got a strong leg.
Here's the kickoff, and it is going to be Castillo who will field it at the 9-yard line. Try to turn it outside. And Castillo's still on his feet and has run out of bounds, and flags come in, and that might be a face mask on the tail end of it or an illegal block. There were 2 flags that came down. I don't know if it's for the same infraction.
Castillo doing a nice job of kind of baiting the defenders as he just kind of hesitated and he jumped back out to the outside, and before they could get a hand on him, maybe raked across the face mask.
Jim Ely, our referee, will tell us if there was 1 or 2 fouls on the play.
We have a personal foul, face mask on the tackle, against us, 15 yards.
Well, that's a big penalty there. A 15-yard personal foul face mask, and Judson instantly is in tremendous field position. All the way out to the 46.
Yeah, I'm really impressed, Greg, with the execution of the special teams by Converse Judson. I mean, these guys are so well coached, and their kickoff returns has put them consistently in wonderful field position. They're knocking on the door again now. They're almost at midfield. They're at the 46-yard line. And they only need a field goal to take the lead in this ball game.
Plenty of time to go. 4:02 remaining in the game. Out of the eye. Quinney to throw it. That one caught over the middle and all the way down to the 44. That's a quick pickup of 10 yards as he found Andre Williams for the first down. Tackle made out there. Casey Zachary and Justin Kendrick the stop. They'll put it down at the 44. It is 10 yards and a first down.
I tell you, for a team that runs the ball 85% of the time, which is what Converse Judson does, to be so effective and efficient in the passing game is really remarkable. Typically, you're only going to see one guy in the route. They've got 2 and 3 guys. They're running complementary routes to each other. They're getting themselves open.
This time the handoff to Campbell with running room inside the 40 and still on his feet. Campbell shoved out of bounds, but another rocket first down will mark him out, I believe, at the 29-yard line. At the 29, it's a 15-yard gain, and the Rockets are getting close to field goal range.
A little bit of a herky-jerky play there. Dustin Quinney almost lost the ball at the center quarterback exchange. Herb City comes up and lays a big lick, but you just cannot say enough about Chauncey Campbell. His balance, his durability, everything that he does, it's just an impressive run right.
From the 29. Rockets on the move. It's Campbell again. To the outside and tripped up a little bit by Matt Simmons. They got over and held him to a 3-yard gain. He went out of bounds. 3.5 minutes remaining in the game.
Well, one thing that is kind of interesting playing out right now is that Converse Judson has moved the ball from their own 46-yard line all the way down to the 36-yard line. But Craig, they've done it in such quick bursts that they've not taken up a lot of time off the clock. When you get a first down, the clock stops until the chains are reset. 2nd and 7. Campbell again. Bounced off one tackler, and he's down to the 22-yard line for a pickup of 4 more and a big third down coming up here. Yeah, that's a play that'll keep the clock running. Nice job of Chauncey Campbell. It just really impressive. I mean, the guy is only a junior. You can think he's only going to get better coming into his senior season.
Third down and about 2 needed. The ball just outside the 21. It's Quinney to keep it himself. The first down and shoved out of bounds at the 15-yard line of Midland High. Maybe inside the 50. In fact, they'll put it at the 14 where it'll be first down Judson.
But right when you think they just need a few yards, look at him, put it in the belly of his big fullback, T.C. Wilson, who would have been stopped had he handed him or had him taken the ball. Quinney doing a nice job showing some of that senior leadership, carrying it around for a big first down.
A favorable spot even adds to it at the 13-yard line. This one, it's Wilson up the middle inside the 10. And Judson now well within field goal range as the clock shows 2:45 to go.
And if you're Midland High coaching staff right now, you want to consider maybe taking the timeout to preserve a little bit of clock. You're at 2 minutes and 38 seconds down to 2:35.
And only 1 timeout left. They've taken a timeout before each of their second-half touchdowns before going for 2. Second down. Campbell knocked down in the backfield once more by Matt Simmons, the safety. That's a loss of a couple. Ball is back to the 11-yard line. Now it'll be third down, and they'll need 8 as we tick down to 2 minutes remaining in the game. Simmons, the big hit there.
Talking about that timeout, I believe I misspoke on that one. If I'm Coach Yenser and the staff, obviously you got to hang on to the timeout. You're in the lead. You've come back. Forgive me, Coach. I apologize.
It is third down now, and 8 from the 11. Quinney, down he goes at the 11-yard line. And it's Matt Simmons who made his 3rd consecutive tackle. Now it's 4th down for Judson. Ball is in the center of the field, but it is set up for a field goal try here. They'll need 8. And the kicking tee comes out for Dustin Quinney.
Well, what an outstanding play by Matt Simmons. This senior he's a solid run support guy, but he just has knifed his way through there on several plays and just totally blew up the whole Judson convoy of blockers, runners, and he's done everything.
For Judson, it comes down to this. It'll be a 27-yard try. Quinney, the field goal is good. And Judson retakes the lead with 70 seconds remaining.
Never a doubt if you're Dustin Quinney. You talk about nailing a field goal. That ball launched off of his foot.
And the question now is, does Midland have one more comeback left in them?
Talk about a drive when you just absolutely had to have it. Starts off with the passing game, hitting Andre Williams, and then, of course, Chauncey Campbell doing a lot of the legwork there. Dustin Quinney making some very key decisions, Craig, on this drive, keeping the football, running for first downs. He did it twice, and then T.C. Wilson, of course, getting in the middle and set it up for, wow. Look at that ball. I mean, it had plenty of room to spare. Nailed it. He knew it right away. Big-time drive right there by the Judson Rockets when the pressure was on.
So a minute 10 to go, 3:04 off the clock on that drive. 54 yards in 8 plays. The Quinney 27-yard field goal on a drive engineered by Dustin Quinney. Jim Rackley is 70 seconds away from his first state championship as a head coach. Craig Yenser, who guided Hereford to the state finals in 4A Division I before falling to Bay City in 1999, 3 years ago. Trying to urge his guys on to one final drive, at least to get them in field goal range.
Yep. Hey, I like the guys from Midland High. They're running out here. All their return guys said, "Hey, give it up, fans. Give me some love," because they're out there thinking they're gonna win this ball game. And their attitude is, and this comes from the staff. This is an attitude that permeates from the top down. When you believe in yourself, regardless of the outcome of the ball game, you're going to play every down as hard as you can. And this is what, I mean, just what a really wonderful story this is to see this Midland team in the state championship ball game.
Thomas Elba will kick off. The return could have a lot of bearing on whether Midland High has a chance to get it downfield in time. Line drive kick. Bowes at the 11-yard line. Up the center of the field, still on his feet in good field position for the Bulldogs from their own 34. That took 7 seconds. They've got 1:03 and they've got one timeout left.
Well, one of the beauties of the spread passing game is you can control the clock. You can rely on first downs to stop the clock until the chains are set. You've got the opportunity if the pass is incomplete, it'll stop the clock. You get your receivers who are well schooled to get out of bounds or run corner routes. I mean, there's a lot of things. 1 minute and 3 for a spread offense is a lot of time.
Ryan Rowland with 4 wide receivers to work with. With time. A lot of time, and across the middle sledge, the catch and a first down at the 45-yard line. The clock will stop with 55 seconds to go while they set the change.
What an outstanding catch here by Zach Sledge. We talked about how good his hands are. As he comes off the ball, he's getting jammed there by Titus Brothers, and he breaks it across the middle, and he's got the fastest linebacker and a big hitter, Carley, right on his back. He still comes down with the catch.
From the 45, and the clock moving now after the chains were set. Rowland to throw it again. Pressure coming, gets rid of it, and that ball, was it caught? Dropped at the midfield stripe. That was close to being intercepted by Titus Brothers.
Brothers was right on that play. You talk about reading the eyes of the quarterback. He sat right in the hip pocket of the receiver as he ran a little stop curl route, and he just beat him to the football. A lot of pressure right there by the front 4 for the Converse Judson defense, though, Craig. They're getting pressure in the pocket, and the secondary doing a nice enough job. They're playing cover 2 back there, so it's a zone coverage, not allowing those Midland receivers to find the crease.
Second down and 10 from the 45 with 41 seconds remaining. Again, 4 wideouts. Barber in the backfield. Blitz coming. Rowland going to tuck it in and run, and he'll pick up about 4, and a late flag comes in. Rowland hit out of bounds, and 15 more will be tacked onto it. It'll be a first down for the Bulldogs. A huge 15-yard penalty here, just as it was a huge 15-yard face mask on the kickoff return for Judson after the last Midland touchdown.
Well, Ryan Rowland doing a nice job, and it looks like it's a linebacker, Bruce Gross, who's had a wonderful run during the playoffs. He just gets right to the edge there, shoves him out of bounds. That's a big no-no. Picks up the 15 yards. That is a huge penalty right there by Bruce Gross.
Here's Jim Ely.
Have a dead ball foul. We have a personal foul. We have a late hit out of bounds.
Craig, I'll tell you what set that up, though. The outstanding coverage by the Judson secondary, not allowing Ryan Rowland anywhere to throw the football, and they forced him to scramble as he breaks it out there, and Bruce Gross, he hustles. I mean, that's not an intentional thing. This kid is an excellent athlete, and he's a wonderful player.
Jim Rackley telling his defense to think. They'll put it down at the 35-yard line. There's 34 seconds to go in the game. They had to reset the play clock. As soon as they do that, now they'll start the game clock. After actually stepped out of bounds and then was hit. So it's 34 seconds left. And throwing up the sidelines, that ball's caught by Sledge. And then the ball came out, so it's incomplete.
No, they're going to give him the catch, Craig.
One official ruled incomplete. The second said complete, and they're talking about it right now.
They're going to give him the catch.
He
looked like
really
he came down with the ball. I think here's Zach. He just releases outside. The ball gets hung up a little bit. He takes a big shot right there, but he comes down with 1 foot, and then you'll see the ball come out there. You hit the 1 foot down, you're in.
Well, they're still talking about it, and it's a catch. They're putting it down at the 22-yard line. And with 27 seconds to go, Midland still has its timeout, and they're getting in field goal range now. Jason Crownover this season is 2 for 4 from this distance, 30 to 39 yards. It would be a 39-yarder if they tried it right now. But, of course, they're still trying to get it into the end zone. There were 27 seconds to go.
We've been talking about the great hands of Zach Sledge, and what a wonderful job he did right there bringing that pass in.
Midland High is going to have to use its timeout here to prevent it being a delay of game penalty. They had trouble getting organized on what they wanted to do offensively, and they have to use their final timeout with 27 seconds left.
That's big, Craig. That is big. The Judson crowd is not happy. They didn't like the roughing or the personal foul call, nor did they like the fact that was ruled a catch. But that's an excellent call by the officials, because when Zach Sledge went up, he caught the ball in the cradle, he got a foot down, and then Jason Castillo leveled him, and when he did, that's when the ball squirted out.
There you see the numbers for Jason Crownover. If they tried it right here, it would be about 39 yards, and he's 2 for 4 from that distance, 30 to 39, and 0 for 1, 40 to 49. Midland High broke the longest playoff drought in Texas high school football history for the schools that are now Class 5A schools. 51 years, and it had been 66 years since the Bulldogs had won a playoff game. They're trying to win a 5th this season, which would give the school its first ever state championship.
What do you do for an encore?
Well, they still need 3 points to win it. The ball inside the 22. Remember, no timeouts left for Midland High. From the shotgun. Rowland looking to throw. For the end zone, he's got Sledge. Touchdown, Midland. Zach Sledge scores with 22 seconds remaining in the game.
Talk about maturity of this senior squad from Midland High. Ryan Rowland knew exactly what he wanted to do. He had his best receiver, his #1 go-to guy, run the post corner, and everybody was biting on the middle of the field, and he breaks it out to the corner, and Sledge was so open, Greg. There was not a defender within 5 yards of him. Patience, and he just delivers the ball. You're just throwing to a splash area. Sledge doing a nice job running under, picking up touchdowns. Huge play for the Midland Bulldogs.
Crownover now can relax and kick an extra point instead of a field goal. He does. The Bulldogs lead it by 5. Still 22 seconds left in the game.
There's still 22 seconds, and I can tell you right now, as we have seen from our vantage point, the Judson Rockets special teams are big time. They've been close to breaking. Go back to this touchdown. See, nice little job by Sledge. He puts the little post move, and then he breaks it out to the corner from the inside. Defender never saw him, never was able to stick with him. Wonderful play call. Well, you talk about the offense, too. I mean, what have we seen? We've seen the power running game. We've seen the option. We've seen the spread. I mean, they've got the complete package, and it's an onslaught. Very difficult to defend.
You see Rowland, and you look at the emotion that's being spilled out on the field right now. There's still 22 seconds left, and Craig Yenser, the head coach of the Midland Bulldogs, was asked about the emotion that goes into preparing a team and the emotion of the postseason.
I told one of the coaches a while ago, I said, I'm not sure either pre-game or post-game whether I'm going to get through it without just boo-hooing. You know, it is emotional. And, you know, you get attached, when you coach, you get attached to the young people that you work with. And that's the way we coach, and that's the way the staff that I brought with me from Hereford coaches. And we have really gotten attached to this group of young men. And then, you know, it is emotional. Of course, football's an emotional game. That's the way that we want to play it. We want our kids to have fun. We want to be emotional. We want to see great effort and great enthusiasm, because that's what high school football is all about.
We're truly seeing what high school football is indeed all about here. And not only did he bring a great coaching staff, he brought his son, Tyler Yenser, who will now be charged, along with the rest of his Midland teammates, with the task of stopping Judson one final time. Here's Crownover's kick. It will go down the middle. It was touched by one of the Rockets, and it takes a hop, where it's fielded by Kyle Fox. Down he goes at the 24-yard line. And now Judson gets one final shot with 17 seconds to play in the game.
Well, we have seen Judson, Craig, be very successful in hitting the big pass play. We've also seen him be very successful in breaking the long runs. Again, we're talking first downs. They've got to get into the end zone now, though, and look for them to try to get in more of a drop back passer. You see Quinney's in the ball game now instead of Joe Walden. But right now, it's going to be critical for the Judson Rockets to get open, pick up first downs, and get out of bounds.
Back to pass, Quinney. Gonna go deep. And he does have a receiver open. Oh my goodness, it's caught. It's Andre Williams. Do you believe this? 76 yards. Judson's done it again.
Craig, I don't believe that the Midland defenders thought that Quinney could throw the ball that far. He launched it. Andre Williams, all he had to do was run under it and sprint to the end zone, which he is highly capable of doing. He's got a 71-yard touchdown reception already this year. None, obviously, bigger than that.
Incredible developments here in the Alamo Dome. Now, there was a flag down at the end of the play. Has also taken a timeout here to try to collect themselves. They'll move the ball back to the 18-yard line as you take another look at this touchdown here.
I'd like to catch the airtime on this ball by Quinney. I mean, he absolutely flings it. I don't think the Midland defenders thought that he could throw it that far. And really outstanding job, Andre Williams staying with the play.
It took 10 seconds to get it into the end zone. And just when it looked like Midland High was going to get the victory, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, perhaps.
And how about a guy, Dustin Quinney, coming into today's ball game, Craig, only 68 pass attempts. Guy looks like a seasoned veteran throwing the football.
And I'll tell you something, Shay. 7 seconds to go. Judson's taking the timeout. Obviously, the clock does not move on the conversion try. They're going to come out here from the 17. If I'm Jim Rackley, I just take a knee.
Take a knee on it, yeah. Don't risk it. You got 7 seconds, or let your guy run around for 7 seconds. Because you've got your quarterback. He's shown that he's mobile enough. It looks like what they might be trying to do here.
Remember, they had already taken one timeout.
But they're going to burn another one.
And they will spend a second timeout.
Greg, they're doing exactly what you're talking about. No, don't risk getting the extra point attempt blocked. Knock down around.
Or throwing an interception or a fumble. Any handling of the ball is really not necessary.
You got to choose 7 seconds up, and it doesn't matter how many yards you lose doing it as long as you don't get into your end zone.
Well, and of course the clock won't run on the conversion, so all they have to do is just put down the knee. They're still going to have to kick off the ball no matter what happens here. So we'll see what happens. Whether you run it, pass it, or kick it, you do run the risk of a block or a turnover being returned for 2 points.
Right, and they do have their starting offense in, so it does not look like they are going to kick the football. Maybe thinking like I in error that this was going to be a play that would burn time off the clock, because they've got their offense in. You've got Chauncey Campbell and T.C. Wilson both in, Dustin Quinney as a quarterback.
And like I said, if I were Jim Rackley, I'd just put down the knee. Never mind about the point, but we'll see what happens here. As long as it's not a turnover, it really doesn't matter. And it will be a draw play. And this one for Campbell will take it inside the 10. So there's no points off of it.
Or no time off the clock.
And it's a pretty safe play with the way that Chauncey Campbell's run the football.
Absolutely.
Now they have to kick off one more time. Have we seen it all, or is there anything left?
I'm reserving judgment until the zeros click, and that's why you play the ball game. What an outstanding job by both of these staffs. Both teams have played wonderful football today. Really a treat to see this Division I championship game.
And this is just part one of what we'll bring you on Fox Sports Net. Next Saturday, a 5A Division II Texas Bowl. South Lake Carroll is playing Lufkin today in the 5A Division II semifinal round, as well as Smithson Valley against Katy. Those two winners will advance to the Division II state championship next week, which we'll bring you at high noon right here on Fox Sports Net. And, you know, it might be just every bit as exciting as what we've seen this afternoon, although it'd be hard to fathom topping this one.
Well, this has been an outstanding ball game. Fairly well played with the exception of a couple of turnovers and other things, but just an outstanding high school football game.
All right, D.W. Rutledge, you see the smiles on his face. He's still a Judson Rocket at heart. And the disbelieving look, you saw some of those from the Midland High fans.
Now, Craig, Judson has experience losing a game, a state championship game late, as you mentioned earlier, to Duncanville on the kickoff return. So I would be very surprised if this ball gets more than about 5 feet off the ground, and if it gets more than 20 yards without hitting somebody.
Kickoff to come from Thomas Elbel. Neither team with a timeout left. Elbel's kick is a squib, and immediately putting down the knee at the 24-yard line was Ty Seeker, who fielded it. No time, in fact, went off the clock.
Craig, we're really seeing, again, I have to go back to this. These are two high school teams. You see them executing special teams plays like a major Division I college. I mean, these guys are extremely well coached, both staffs. Really impressive.
The officials are discussing whether some time should have come off the clock.
That's 6 seconds.
6 seconds.
One for the touch.
The game clock is 6 seconds.
And Jim Ely and his crew, as usual, right on top of it today. So they'll have to take 1 second off the clock, down to 6. And Midland High, one play to try to come up with one final miracle. You see 4 lead changes in the 4th quarter alone. We'll try some trickery, and it's Jason Russell looking to throw the ball. Deep downfield, the water red jersey's around, it's intercepted, and the team of the 90s is now staking a claim on the 21st century. Jim Rackley has his first state championship as a head coach. The Judson Rockets have their 6th state title overall in the most dramatic of fashions.
That's an outstanding win by an outstanding program. You often hear said, Craig, in these types of games, with a nice show of sportsmanship by there by the coaches. But what you often hear in these types of games is the shame somebody had to lose. And boy, Midland High, they really felt like they had taken over the game, got control of it in the second half, put the points up on the board to go ahead with just seconds remaining and then give up the big touchdown pass.
An absolutely incredible 4th quarter and one of the all-time classics in Class 5A. Converse Judson, your 5A Division I state champions, scoring with 7 seconds left to beat Midland High 33-32. We'll be back for the presentation of the 5A Division I state championship trophy. 33-32 the final. Judson, the 5A Division I state champions.